Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I blow soon, soon. Knew as a child, back in the womb. Oh, told her step back, I need my room, room. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom. I'm in a whip, so I gotta zoom. They tryna talk, they not in the room. I been so real, I'm dead to the tomb. They in the way, they gotta move. I got a gas, they running on fumes. Told them way back, it's something new. It's me and Dan, you gotta choose. I'm taking what's mine, I'm doing fine. Don't see the vision, they looking so blind. I hit my lawyer, I don't got the time. Crossing my T's and he dotting those eyes. Don't take offense if I do not oblige. I can't be labeled like none of these guys. They hit me once and I'm cutting the ties. I was so low, but I'm back on the rise, it's real. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I blow soon, soon. Knew as a child, back in the womb. Oh, told her step back, I need my room, room. Hop in the car, watch it go vroom. I'm hopping now I gotta go. I'm looking back, they not even close. I had a 4, now I need a ghost. I got a wave like I'm on the coast. Same ones are down and I dare the show. So way that I'm ballin', they think I'm a pro. I'm getting sick by the money I gross. They saying whoa, I told them all what this is. I told them all I don't miss. Said it's my time, look at this shit on my wrist. And when they shooting this breaks, I'm going in a new gig, gotta shift. I cannot stick to the script, I cannot wait. Watch how I get it and flip. It's just how I'm doing this shit and I'm gone. Just how I'm doing this shit and I'm gone. Ayy, just how I'm doing this shit and I'm gone.
Hey yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace, you gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience under pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. Bought my chicken and it's rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing you. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the...
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mafia, we're getting the continuation up here, at least locally for Bitcoin, and Ethereum just continuing to explode to the upside, hitting our target that we looked at on yesterday's market update, sitting at, what was it sitting at? 4740 was the first start of that major level that we were looking at on Ethereum. ETH finally pushing into that level, guys. We have a ton of bullish signs lining up for, again, the eventual final phases of this bull market, guys. But what is the timeline? How long can it take for alt season to come in? If it is actually around the corner like it seems, how fast can it come in? And when can we start to eventually anticipate those big moves up? Well, we've already started to see the move up on Ethereum, but I want to talk a little bit about how I'm expecting this all to play out. If we are correct with the rate cuts, which, by the way, guys, the rate cuts are absolutely insanely high probability of happening here. I'm actually, let me pull up FedWatch here real quick. We do have a, not only is the rate cuts, highly anticipated here, guys. It just keeps going up and up and up. I think it's like dang near 100% at this point. It's like 99 point something percent. Let this load up real quick. Take a sip of that black coffee. Well, it's, hang on one second here. Yeah, like 94.3%. So still insanely high, guys. But I want to break down the charts as we're seeing that Ethereum target hit, as we see that Bitcoin long we talked about yesterday from the premium Discord, as that continues to play out. We are actually hitting that key level of resistance that we looked at in the market update a little bit earlier today at about 122,707 level. We were saying, watch this level, guys. And, there are reasons why we look at these targets. So that level is now hit. We are getting a little rejection off of it. So I'll give you guys the full update on Bitcoin, what we're looking at next. And then we'll take a look at a lot of the bullish signals that we have lining it up, not only on the Bitcoin chart, not only on the Ethereum chart, not only on a lot of the alt charts, but also across the total charts, across the Russell 2000, which is something we keep an eye on very often here. I've showed this many times. So we're going to take a look at all that. We'll take a look at dominance, and then I'll try to talk to you guys about kind of timing. I can't call the exact day of the top or, exactly when alt season will start, but I do kind of want to just manage expectations here and show you guys kind of like the timeline, right? Like, is everything going to take off tomorrow? Well, in my opinion, probably not. It probably will take some time, so we'll go over all that and hopefully give you guys a clear view of what we could see play out here very, very soon. So shout out to the Candle Mafia. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Mrs. B in the chat says, smash that like button, guys. If we get 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, we will give away $250 in Solana on top of the already 10 Cardano giveaways that we're going to be doing on Friday. Let's see. ARB is a major sleeper. Shout out to Adrian. Maybe we'll take a look at the ARB chart. Obviously, we'll take a look at ETH and the rest of the altcoins as well, or as many as we possibly can. Quick reminder, please do not super chat your altcoins. Just throw them in the free chat. I will pull them from the free chat. Feel free to super chat if you have a question or something, but please do not super chat your altcoins. I would appreciate it. And the reason for that, guys, is obviously, I say this every time. I don't want anyone to send a super chat thinking that it's like a legitimate exchange, right? There's nothing about that super chat that's going to guarantee that we look at your coin just because we are limited on time here. I wish I could look at every single altcoin, but the benefit of that is you could just put it in the free chat. Oh no, I'm frozen here. What just happened? Are we live? Okay, we're still good. Shout out to Drizzy. What is going on? We got Perry in the chat says, salute, Frankie. Shout out to you, man. We got, let's see. What's popping? Shout out to your boy Drizzy. What's going on, brother? Welcome in. We got JQ wants to see Tia. Yeah, we could take a look at Tia, and maybe we'll talk about some potential major targets on some of these altcoins, guys. I'm going to try to cover a lot today. We got Julio in the chat. I said Frankie Candle's going to upgrade to Frankie Flamethrower after his bullish targets materialize. Shout out to Julio. Let's go, baby. Maybe we'll get one of Elon Musk's Flamethrower, and we'll just do it. I'm sure it's not to fire code, but maybe we'll have to get one. At Tony D, can you still get the flamethrowers from, I think it's the Tesla website? Can you still buy those? We should buy one just for fun. That'd be fire. No pun intended. But anyway, guys, shout out to Philly Skills in the chat. We got Diaz in the chat. What is going on? K Diggity. Phoebe says hi. You don't know who Phoebe is. It's my pet goat. Let's see. My imaginary pet goat. Eugene Sky. What is going on? Gen Z in the chat. Al Jr. said, I'm feeling neglected here. Shout out to Al Jr. Welcome in. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. But we got a lot to cover today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right on into the charts. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so here we are. Now, obviously, earlier today on our market update, we were covering this long position that we took over in the premium Discord. Let me see if I can pop that up real quick. I think it's running long number 2. There it is. There is the line that I drew at the original setup while we were sitting up here hoping for that drop down and the bounce off this level to push us in towards that daily MPOC. Obviously, never going to get the timing exactly right, but you can see here we did get that long to play out continuously, and I am holding that long position here. What is this? This is on FEMEX, so this is that long position. I did lock in some profits from the market update, as I said I would. Still up 1781 unrealized, so I'm going to continue to hold a portion of that position. I am also holding a long position over here on Blowfin. Actually, 2 positions on Blowfin. I have one open on another account in similar profit here, up about 2,700 on that position as well. So not too shabby, guys. We're going to continue to hold these long positions, locking in profit along the way, of course, because if you don't pay yourself when you're in the green, guys, very quickly, you can end up being in the red. So yeah, still holding those positions, and obviously, we did come up to hit that target here, sitting at the daily MPOC at $122,707, guys, and shortly after that update, we kind of wiggled around a little bit, but sure enough, we did get that shot right up to the target. And this is not, I like to pretend like we have a crystal ball. Not that we have a crystal ball. Don't investigate that. But I do like to pretend we have a crystal ball, guys. But obviously, this is all stuff that I share with you. Not only the targets that I'm looking at personally, but also how to find these targets and understand when they have a high probability of hitting. And here we are sitting at that target right now. So this is local resistance, guys. We do have to be aware. We could get pullbacks here. Something I am going to be aware of is potentially losing this high, this previous high, which we have just bounced off of. Hopefully, as of right now, to continue up here, we're going to have to come up back on top of that daily MPOC and flip it to support, in which case there's not much to the upside here after this, guys. I do believe I think that is the last daily MPOC that we have. Yeah, that is the last MPOC that we have on the chart. We already broke through this one, which is absolutely beautiful, and now we are playing around with this one. So this is literally like knocking on the door, guys. The only thing above us here is going to be that previous all-time high sitting at $123,259. It's getting close, guys. It's getting close. Very, very nice to see this move out. Obviously, we did break out of this local volume profile. I'll go ahead and hide this position just to clean up the chart. So yeah, this does look nice. We got out of there, flipped the value area high to support pretty much perfectly there before continuing up. And the last level above us here, guys, I would love to cover like all the key levels of resistance above, but Just watch that all-time high. Is it impossible to fake out this level? Potentially. And, as I covered in the market update, in the worst-case scenario, guys, we do have to understand. I know, obviously, I have been very bullish, at least long-term here, not only on Bitcoin, but also with the altcoins dominance dropping, expecting a potential alt season to come in with the rate cuts and all that good stuff. But, I am not necessarily expecting this to play out like tomorrow or next week, or I do think we still have time, right? We do still have some time coming into those that next FOMC meeting, right, in September, when those expected rate cuts are going to come in. There's a lot of time for some potential effery, as I said on the update video. Some potential scares, some potential panic dumps, whatever it is, right? We do have to be aware there is some room for turbulence here, especially when we take a look at dominance real quick. Obviously, very, very nice to see the actually, let me pull it up over here. Bada boom, come on. Dominance dropping out of this value area, which is obviously perfect, right? This is exactly what we want to see, with money flow coming out on the higher time frames, which is obviously a very good sign. How long, how quickly, how slow can we see this potentially play out? And that's what I'm going to get into a little bit later. But at the end of the day here, next key level of resistance, all-time high. I'll even label it here. ETH, baby. Oh, my God. Breakthrough. Come on. Okay, why is that on the wrong side? Hang on. There we go. Oh, because it's not a ray. Hang on, guys. Let me fix this. Bada boom. This is my first time. If you guys don't know, this is my first time ever using TradingView. I've never used TradingView before. So, sometimes I get a little lost here. I'm still learning. So there you go. We got our all-time high sitting there at 123,259. I would say this is kind of our last level of defense. Once you come up above that all-time high, as always, every single time we approach an all-time high, guys, even back here, right? Where are we at? Let me zoom out a bit. Even over here, it's like, oh my God, we're at the all-time high. It does not necessarily mean you need to break out. If money flow or something is pointing in the wrong direction, which this was, right back here, we did get that sweep of the highs. So you can always be aware of those fake outs of all-time highs for corrections. But again, I think we're in a different situation than we are here. I wouldn't expect a massive drop down like this. Hopefully not. But, for what it's worth, daily MPOC, all-time high, technically resistance level. If you did get like a little sweep there, you could cool off. But eventually, guys, once we start cooking above this, we are, getting pretty close to breaking out into that new all-time high target, which will be sitting between $125,000 and $126,000. I'm not saying that this has to happen today, has to happen tomorrow. Again, we still have some resistance and some time for potential scary stuff to happen. But again, long-term, that would not change my longer-term sentiment, right? Just remember that. I on this channel, right, we look at, all different time frames. I try to look at the low time frames, the high time frames, my overall bull market cycle sentiment. So when I say there's resistance here, just understand I'm not necessarily expecting a nuke down to zero. Just looking for cool-offs here, potentially. But at the end of the day, if we squeak up here, guys, next major target, 125 to 126K. It's really all I'm going to cover on today's live stream. We obviously do have some upper targets here around 128K. It's the only target I'm going to cover, guys. Literally says the next target 5 seconds later. But 128K sitting up above there, and then, directly into 130,000 is going to be that next big level. But, let's get up here. Let's get up here to 125, 126, and kind of reassess the situation. But let me look at this, guys. I want to take a look at some of these higher time frames. One thing I would keep an eye on for a potential cool-off is going to be some of these higher time frame bearish divergences, right? You do have your higher highs on your price action very clearly. I mean, just look at that pop up, guys. This is absolutely beautiful. But, you have to be aware, daily bearish divergences potentially looking to form here. VWAP, still pretty healthy. Above the zero line, but if we see this continue down, that daily red dot could indicate that pullback. So I will be watching for that red dot, just to give you guys an idea of what you can look for to see, like, if you're going to get the correction. If we get up here, right, you get a little fake out, you start coming back down, that daily bear div prints. Maybe you are looking for a little bit of a correction, but in the worst case scenario, in my own personal opinion, guys, I will say, big key level of support is going to be this value area high. And I'll come down to a lower time frame here. Let's pull it up on the 30-minute, right? So if we did get a bigger pullback to come in, whether we reject from this daily MPOC or the all-time high, daily value area high sitting at 119,769. This is going to be a very big level of support to potentially hold a higher low and continue up. However, if we do break back down inside of this value area, this could open the door to fill this range, which honestly would make some kind of sense to me if we had to get the correction, because we do have that CME gap sitting down here, as well as a plethora of support, right? This is a very big confluent zone of support. Where are those daily MPOCs? Bada boom, right? So you have the daily MPOC, the weekly MPOC, the value area low, and we also do have a golden pocket pulled, I believe, from this higher low into the high, which is actually now sitting right here. Let me pull that up. And actually, this gets my full fib pretty much exactly where I wanted it yesterday, right? Because yesterday we pulled this fib from the low to the high, which was slightly lower, which was not beautifully confluent. But the further we push up here, guys, the closer that golden pocket comes to be perfectly confluent with that value area low, weekly MPOC, daily MPOC, and the CME gap, right? So in the worst case scenario, right, at least as of right now, obviously worst case scenario would be, hey, bull market over, we're going to zero. But, relative to this local price action, I would say if you did get a drop down here, still huge support. And I would even maybe extend this down a little bit lower to that golden pocket. This zone does sit between 116.6 all the way down to about 115.7. And this would be potentially a place to look for another bounce. And I will be looking for longs here with the premium Discord if we did have to endure that drop. Huge level to look at here, guys. Even if you deviate below, you now have that 786 perfectly confluent with that daily horizontal level, which is naked at this point, right? Let me just double check that, make sure I don't have an old level there. Yeah, it is a naked daily horizontal. So, technically, big zone you don't want to lose. For the last line in the sand here locally would be the 786 at 114.181. And one other thing I do want to mention here, guys, if we did get a drop down there, we do have some liquidity sitting down there as well, specifically sitting below this wick right here at about 115. 624, right? So, I could see a situation if we did have to get the bigger pullback, right? Lose this value area high, which would be support until proven otherwise, right? So you look for support. If you get accepted in here, POC is the next likely place for price to go. Lose the POC, you're going to be looking down towards that value area low with the plethora of MPOC confluences and that golden pocket. Definitely a huge level to watch. And if we did get that rip down here, you could look for potential sweeps of liquidity. But I would say as of right now, somewhat locally, I would not want to lose this 786. You do still have another daily down here, but for the most part, right, it would make a lot of sense to me to come just fill that CME gap and then get that hold of support before sending it back up to higher prices. And the reason I bring this up, guys, is because, we do still have some time for those rate cuts to come in, and I just have to have you guys ready for each individual situation, right? Like, hopefully we just break out here. It was the same thing yesterday, right? Like, hey, guys, if we can't break out of this value area, you might be able to go down to fill that CME gap. But hopefully, right, I did take that short position, as we mentioned yesterday as well. But my preference here, which is hilarious, guys, I always like to say, like, the market doesn't always give you what you want. And if I get, my preference here was to just stop out of the short for a small loss and then have the longs continue to pay me out, which was exactly what we saw, which is kind of annoying because I was saying, like, don't always just expect the market to do what you want. And I was like, trust me, if I wind up, getting the short to play out in my least favorable situation, right, to come down here, I'll come up here and be like, hey, guys, we didn't see it play out. And that's a perfect example of the market not giving you what you want. But, of course, the market just gave me what I wanted. But that doesn't happen every single time. Just keep that in mind. So I did stop out for that short at a small loss. But, again, this gain here was much more on the long positions than I lost on that short, which is all about risk management, right? So, yeah, that's kind of the same thing, right? You can't break out of this value area. You're going to be looking down towards the POC and the value area low. Same thing if we reapproach it, right? If you can't hold this value area high and you break back down below, well, that does open the door for that gravitational pull through the volume profile, especially when you have a very key level of support here. Again, that CME gap, which is very, most CME gaps do get filled. Not 100% of them, but most of them do get filled. So just understand if, this would be very scary, right? Like a lot of people, 5% to the downside, 5% is really those moves where we start to see the emotion pop up, in the chat, right? People are like, oh my God, bear market, what is going on? So just to have you guys ready, if we do get that bigger pullback, just understand, like, it'll kind of ease those emotions as you get those pullbacks to be like, well, hey, we do have that key level down here. And it's like, it's not that scary when you're anticipating a reason to come down there, right? And it's the same thing for Ethereum and all the altcoins as they were popping to the upside. We talked about resistance and cool-offs. And as we got those cool-offs, right, everyone starts getting scared. That's why I always try to have you guys aware of when those pullbacks could come. So watch for that 2-day bearish divergence, the potential daily bearish divergence with that VWAP coming up. If we are going to cool off from some of these levels, whether it is the daily MPOC or the all-time high, that is what I'm going to be looking for. Simple signal, red dot on the daily will confirm the daily bear div, right? And then again, that doesn't necessarily mean the top forever, right? It could be a cool off before putting in a higher low and continuing to the upside, right? Because money flow always indicates the longer term trend, which obviously money flow is looking pretty healthy here on many, many different time frames. 3-day coming back to the upside. 2-day has thickened the green. We were talking about this all the way in the beginning of the crossover into the green all the way back here, which helped us anticipate the continuation up. And none of that has really changed on the higher time frame. So just don't be scared if you get the pullback. Just understand longer term context is still, in my opinion, for that longer term continuation up. But we do still have time for the rate cuts to come in. We do still have some time till September. So just, Sometimes the market likes to, pull some shenanigans. So just be aware of that. Shout out to New Earth Guardian says, the top forever confirmed 100. Yo, let's go. Shout out to New Earth Guardian. That's it, Daily Bear Div, guys. It's all over. I am just kidding. I'm just kidding. People dusting off their old alt bags, but will you sell, bro? Shout out to Dave Digital. I don't know if you're talking to me, but yes, I'll be honest with you guys. Anytime I do take major profits on altcoins or even my Bitcoin, I will let you know, right? I'll let you guys know over here on our... Bear with me. I believe it was up here. I did take a small amount of profit, right? Like nothing really crazy. I just took a little profit. I was up pretty big, and I was like, let me take a little bit off the table, even though I was anticipating higher. But, when I do take those profits, I will let you guys know, like, hey, I'm shaving a little profit up here. Not that that should ever be a signal for you to take profit, right? But you can maybe take my information into account with your own analysis. I'm not a financial advisor, but I have no problem telling you guys, like, hey, I'm shaving some profits off here. And just be prepared, guys. If I'm taking profits, it might start to trigger something inside of your emotions that's like, why is this guy taking profit? Like, oh my God, this has to keep going up forever. And this is a very common mentality. But just understand, guys, I have round trip bags before, and I have now kicked that out of my psychology. I will not round trip bags anymore. And we talk about this all the time. When everyone was anticipating 100K, taking profit up here, people would have called you a moron. Oh, we're only 50% to 100K. Like, what do you mean? We're only at 50K. We still have 100K, right? That doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. And when we have the bull market top come in, guys, if we are going to build out a top here in some way, shape, or form, right, just understand this is the point in the market where likely retail will come back in. I still don't think retail is here in full. We'll likely know. But once they come in, guys, understand most of the retail will come in late, and they are here to buy our bags. People who were enduring the bear market and buying when we should have. These, most people who come in the bull market, right? They usually come in at the top. You don't want to be one of those people that's buying the top. Let the retail come in and do that. Obviously, we're retail too, but don't be one of those people. Like it's okay to dollar cost average out of your bags, and you might even see me take some profit on altcoins before they're in all-time highs, depending on the coin. We've talked about this many a times with like older Dino coins. I'm not fully anticipating all of the Dino coins to make new all-time highs, and we kind of talked the other day on the live stream about how you can just keep an eye on the health of the overall trend of the market, right? If we are seeing alt season come in and we're seeing certain coins hit all-time highs, everything is flying. Maybe Total 3 looks like it's putting in a top. Maybe Bitcoin looks like it's putting in a top. At that point, guys, if your altcoin, let's just say, I brought up DOT, I think, as the example last time we explained this, right? When you look at something like DOT or like even, where's Adam? Cosmos as well. Like these are some Dino coins. I do hold these, but it doesn't mean that they're guaranteed to go into new all-time highs, right? But at this point, like the example I gave you guys the other day is like, well, hey, if you were to come up here and fill this volume profile, alt season is happening, everything is flying, and, let's say maybe Polkadot only makes it up to the, maybe the weekly and monthly MPOC, or maybe into the Golden Pocket 786 retracement, if we're seeing tops form on things like Total 3 or even Bitcoin, it's like at that point, right? Like if everything looks like it's topping, maybe Polkadot doesn't make a new all-time high, right? There is no guarantee, and we talked about how like a lot of altcoins don't. I would say like most altcoins are not going to make new all-time highs. But with that being said, right, I do hold Polkadot. If we got that Golden Pocket retracement, it's still a 780% rip to the upside, right? So, you might see me like, hey guys, I'm taking profits here, and people are like, what the heck, bro? We're not even in all-time highs yet. You got to be careful, guys, because you have to understand when it comes to content, right? Like there's a benefit to just saying it's going up forever. And this is like the strategy that a lot of people use just to get as many views as they possibly can. No hate to that. You gotta play the game. But when it comes to actually making money and holding on to your money in crypto, you have to understand, like, if the top looks like it's coming in even here, right? I'm going to be taking profits on these altcoins, right? If it comes in here, if it looks like it's coming in here, I'm going to take profits. I'm not just going to wait for a new all-time high, at least on the Dino coins, right? There's other coins that I would expect new all-time highs, things like XRP, right? Obviously, we've already seen XRP make a new all-time high. So I would expect, if you have any kind of alt season, XRP is very likely to go into new all-time highs, or I would say, yeah, very, very likely to put in all-time highs, but not on everything, right? But the way you could gauge that is by keeping an eye on the health of the overall market, by looking at those bigger, like, Total 3s, that kind of stuff, right? Others, and just watching the tops on Bitcoin as well. So if you see me taking profits early when certain, if you see me taking profits on Polkadot or, maybe Cosmos, I'm trying to think of, like, another Dino coin that maybe I'm not super confident will make a new all-time high. But if you see me start taking profits there before all-time highs, if that starts to kind of, like, make you upset, just take that notice it and be like, okay, this is what gets people wrecked. Like, I'm upset because, Frankie Candles is taking profit. There's no new all-time highs. We have to make all-time highs. Be careful with that mentality because it will get you wrecked. Trust me, it's gotten me wrecked before. So let's see. Tony Roas says TIA to $9. Well, we'll take a look at the TIA chart in just a minute. But we took a look at Bitcoin, guys, to be quite honest. Like, it's one of those days, right? It's one of those days where it's like, we're just seeing what we wanted to see play out. There's really not too much to update. All the key levels remain exactly the same. Again, pulling up our current volume profile, right? Let me actually pull up the current VP. Come on down to lower time frame, right? Worst case scenario, if we did come back down, lose the value area high, we still have this gigantic level down here. So until we start losing that 786 at 114K, just looking for noise. Just looking at that as noise for continuations up. But other than that, keep an eye on those daily bearish divergences. Even like locally here, if we take a look at some of the lower time frames, like 4-hour bearish divergence. Let me pull up that daily MPOC, right? We could potentially be forming a 4-hour bearish divergence here as well. I actually don't love the kind of shape of this. This is a little bit... Yeah, I don't really love it, but you do have higher highs on your price action, lower highs on your momentum waves. You get that 4-hour red dot, could indicate some kind of a cool-off. The flip side of that coin is that you just squeeze up here and we start going. But I would just be very careful. You're at resistance. You have momentum kind of cooling off a little bit on the lower time frames, so just be careful of this resistance level. And I'll actually mark this out in red, or I should say purple. All right, so just be aware. Sitting between 122.7 and the all-time high, 123.269, right? Definitely resistance. So there we go. Let's see. ETH and BTC are racing to all-time high. Who hits it first? Shout out to Brillo. It's kind of hard. It's kind of really hard to say. I mean, we are, let's see, on Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and measure this out real quick. From where we are to the all-time high, about 0.24%. I mean, this is super, super close. Ethereum, I think it's technically a little bit further behind. Yeah, I would say not by much. I mean, yeah, 2%, which is, obvious. But, yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing. We're just approaching that last box of resistance. So, yeah, I know it's super exciting, and it is exciting, right? I don't want to say, like, this is not me saying, oh, my God, everyone's getting bullish at the wrong time, right? Like, if you're bullish and you're okay enduring, pullbacks, right, I would still say it's okay to remain bullish on pullbacks, right, especially on Ethereum, right? We looked at this on yesterday's market update that we looked at on Ethereum, like, looking at that 47.40 all the way up to the all-time high is our next key level, and next major target to the upside. Here we are, right? Absolutely perfect. But, just understand it is resistance. But any kind of pullback here, buy the dip scenario, in my opinion. Biggest level of support here on Ethereum, in my opinion, if you have to get a bigger retracement, definitely going to be that value area high at 35.32. Not that breaking this would make me think that we're going to zero or anything like that, but it could be potentially, could just be a bigger retracement, right? Again, you have to be ready, in my opinion, right? All these things lining up so perfectly, and I'm going to go through them right now over like the longer term. All these things lining up perfectly, like, almost is a little bit fishy. It's like, is it really going to be this easy? Like, we've been looking at this for so long. It all plays out. It's all lining up picture perfect, and it's just going to play out. Hopefully it does. But you do just have to be, I am personally ready for some FRE to happen here. That's why I like to cover those lower levels with you guys so you don't kind of freak out if you see those bigger pullbacks. Because, again, when it comes to money flow, the trend will likely continue to the upside, but the money flow does not predict the cool-offs, right? Those are to be anticipated based off the red dots. And you even have some high time frame bearish divergences potentially looking to form here on Ethereum as well. And again, I don't even really like this either. It's a pretty sharp angle for a bearish divergence, but just to be aware there, right? You still have now just to give you, I mean, we do still have some local levels here. Value area high, 35.34. If you break back down below the value area high, we could pull up those daily MPOCs that we have sitting down below, which are going to be sitting, again, just right on this golden pocket. Daily MPOC. That sits between about 31.44 and about 3,030. And then just underneath that, you have another pocket of a daily MPOC and a 786. Now, these levels will move, right, if Ethereum puts in a new all-time high. And at this point, guys, especially like this bearish divergence, I just don't love the angle of it here. But doesn't mean it won't play out. I am also, I already hold, my ETH bags are already packed. But if I were looking to buy the dip, I mean, I don't know at this point if I would be like guaranteeing or like, just sitting on my hands and waiting for those moves to the downside. At the end of the day, guys, I mean, I would never tell anybody to buy Ethereum right now, right? And not that I would ever tell anybody when to buy anything, but when someone says, "Is this a good time to buy Ethereum?" I mean, it's almost as expensive as it's ever been, right? We're at the all-time high. The time to buy Ethereum was down here when we were saying, "Hey guys, pretty cheap Ethereum here. I don't know how much lower we can go," right? Hitting that macro 786. This is the time to get interested in Ethereum, and we brought this up so explicitly, talking about how hey guys, if we come up here, it's no longer going to be the best time to buy ETH. This is where you want to look to buy, right? Not financial advice, but, thankfully we were right about that. And again, that was, in my opinion, right? I make a lot of calls on this channel every single day. This is one of the easier calls that I've had to make because Ethereum not making a new all-time high, again, as I've been saying for months, very unlikely, right? And it's just crazy how fast the sentiment can shift. ETH is dead. And now it's just like, oh my God, ETH's the best, right? Absolutely crazy. And this is why you always want to stick to the charts, because the sentiment of the market is never going to help you make the right decision. They are only going to lead you to death, pretty much, especially when you come into those new all-time high targets, right? If you look like you're peaking out around 7,000, 6,000, 5,800, whatever it is, people are going to be calling for 15K, 20K, 30K. ETH's never going down, up forever. Be ready for this. I promise you, Frankie Candles told you first. These sentiments are going to come in, and they happen at the worst time of the market. This is retail thinking that the bull market just started, and as we've shown time and time again, guys, his bull market is 100% not just getting started. His bull market has been happening for quite some time. The alts have been lagging behind, but hopefully they can catch up here towards the end of the bull market for that final phase to see the and I know I've said this so many times, guys. I know it seems kind of like we're coming to the end, but this is what everyone waits for, right? Especially if you're mostly exposed to altcoins, like this is the moment that you're waiting for. Hopefully, right? Assuming we get the rate cuts, that this is the moment you're waiting for. It's not only, it's the end, it's the grand finale, but it's also the most exciting time in crypto. Most people who don't stick around through all this stuff, right? They come in at the top, right? They might make some money on altcoins. Most of them will just buy it thinking it's going to some crazy price prediction and then hold it back down. But again, if you have been accumulating, those rate cuts come in, you may be rewarded for your long-term patience, guys. So I'm just going to go over a few big macro things that we're looking at here, guys. And I mentioned some of them on the market update, but some of them I didn't. So I'm going to go over kind of everything in a clean manner, showing you like all these things lining up. When I say all these bullish signs are lining up, there's been so many times when people have anticipated alt season, and I have to be the guy that's like, I don't know. Could it happen? Yes, but it's not on the charts. And this has happened a couple of times. The most, recent time or most kind of obvious time that this has happened was in February when we were flipping this value area low. Very low probability of alt season. Money flows in the green. You're reclaiming key support. And with the laws of the volume profile, once you flip that value area low, pushing into the POC is the next likely place for dominance, not price, to go. But now we are starting to see this all flip around. And if you see people out there calling for alt season, I can't really go against it at this point because there's actually signs on the chart. So I don't say this often, but we are actually seeing what we want here to see an alt season come in. 2-day money flow coming out, daily money flow coming out, which we cover every day, 3-day money flow following very aggressively behind, and the fact that we're testing this key level of support, right? Again, could you get the bounce off the daily bull div, 2-day bull div? Maybe. Could you add some more turbulence as you wait for those rate cuts to potentially come in? But, I think we are close here. I do think we are close to see dominance drop down to some pretty aggressive levels. Do I have this? What is this pointing to? Oh, that was pointing to the 786. And just to give you guys an idea of like how aggressive this drop down could be, I'm just simply going to pull another volume profile here. I don't know if you're going to make it all the way to 44%. I would kind of look at this in two different ways, right? You have your volume profile, and then you just kind of have like your structural range, which brings you to like 48%. But, typically when you start running through this, it starts to absolutely nuke. And I would expect to take all of this out and maybe start finding some support around 48 and then dip down to like 47. And then maybe if we can make it down there to like 45, that would be like really, really aggressive. And who knows, maybe we make new lows. But, we do have all this structure down here. This range is very likely going to give you some kind of support. But, this is what you want to see for alt season, guys. So it's on the Bitcoin dominance chart, not only from a level standpoint, but also a money flow standpoint. Like when we see money flow coming out like this, we can, that's why I'm not afraid of any bounces up on dominance, because the chart still looks weak. The charts go up and down, guys, right? We came up here, right? But what would we anticipate based off money flow? Lower high, lower low. But if we have to come up for a high, a more macro higher low, right? It could add that turbulence. But again, this is looking weak for a trend to the downside, right? On top of that, we have total 3. Not only, right? Cooking up towards these highs here, previous highs, but also potentially looking for a breakout of this range, right? We've already gotten the rotation from the low to the POC, back to the low. Where did we get the bounce? Beautifully from the impulse to the high on our Fibonacci retracement. You get the higher low right on your golden pocket value area low, and the anticipation here could be a break of structure to the upside. I'm not saying it has to happen exactly like that, but eventually you are looking for that break of structure to the upside, and we'll talk about that, kind of theory when we look at Solana, because Solana, we were looking for a break of structure to the upside. It's getting very, very close. So, again, we got total 3 coming up here, looking for the potential breakout. We have obviously the total market cap already putting in new highs here. Very beautiful to see. I mean, it's not this high. It's really the break of this high. But this is all looking good, guys. This is all looking good. I actually got a Coinbase notification that was like total hits, whatever it was. It wasn't, I don't think it was this yesterday, but, I got the notification on Coinbase, and I do still think there's a little bit of time here, right? If you think you're late, I would say you're probably not late, at least for altcoins. I wouldn't say, Ethereum, maybe, is it going to go higher? Very likely, but, is it the best entry? No. We still have a lot of altcoins that are chilling down lower. So I do think there still is time. And again, I don't think retail is really here in full blast here just yet. And on top of that, right, I'll just let me duplicate this tab real quick. And I want to pull up Ethereum. Come on. There we go. So I'm just going to run you guys through this, right? ETH. Not only are we, getting the breakout, which is bullish, right? Very, very beautiful to see. So majestic. Roaring to the upside. But, looking at your money flow. Weekly money flow crossing over into the green. 6-day money flow crossover into the green. 5-day money flow crossover into the green. These are high time frame trend signals, not instant up signals, so you could get the pullback, but long-term trends are looking very good here. This is what you want to see for monster moves, right? And it all started with the 2-day money flow all the way back here, right? So had you guys ready early, and now as we move up those time frames, like this 5-day money flow is just getting started. This weekly money flow crossover is just getting started in the upward direction. On top of that, you have dominance headed in the opposite direction, which is exactly what you want to see, losing key support. You have total, rip into the upside, total 3, potentially looking for a rip. And then we have the RTY, which is the Russell 2000. You could think of this as kind of like the altcoin market of the stock market. This is another thing, another condition that we've seen met in many other bull markets that would indicate, right, that you are going to see the altcoins follow this as well. And we have been looking at some key levels here on the RTY, pulled from this high to the low. We started getting rejection. We got a little rejection at the golden pocket, front ran the 786, and now we are tapping it again, starting to pop our head above here. This is not looking too bad. So if we could sustain support up here on the RTY, I would say this is another good signal that you could eventually see a breakout, which would translate into the altcoin market. And then rate cuts, right? So it's not even all that stuff on the charts. It's not the difference, the diversion between the dominance and the ETH money flow, but it's also the fact that you have rate cuts coming in, the RTY popping up. We even took a look at the stock market or the S&P putting in a high here. A lot of things lining up, guys, but I never want that to translate to FOMO. We're going up tomorrow. So this is kind of where I want to talk about what timing could potentially look like. We're going to pull up the time fibs. I'm going to kind of show you guys what I'm looking at personally. It's going to be hard to snipe the top of the bull market to a T. Right? I do not personally try to do that. Obviously, we try to snipe the bottoms on our, shorter term trades, our day trades, our scalps. Obviously, if I pull that long position that we took in the premium that's playing out right now, this is obviously like, okay, cool, we sniped the bottom. This is what I try to do for my lower time frame trades. But when it comes to the bull market, guys, dollar cost averaging in on the way down in the bear market is typically the best strategy, right? You don't have to try to say, oh, my God, I think we're going to bottom out at 115,320, and that's what I'm going to buy. If you take that approach, you're going to wind up, oh, my God, we're pumping. It's going to go lower. It's going to go lower. Oh, we're going lower. We're going lower. Oh, no, hang on. It'll pull back, right? This is where you wind up buying on the way up. That's not what you want to do, right? In my opinion, what I like to do and what I did live here on the YouTube channel during this time was dollar cost average in, letting you guys know exactly what I was doing to get in here near the bottom with an average entry price between about 100, I would say about 120, about 20K, right? To enjoy that ride to the upside. It's the same thing on the way out. If you were sitting here waiting for 100K last cycle, which I assume at least a few people in here have done, don't feel bad about that. This is a rite of passage when you get into crypto. You're waiting for those influencer price targets that are sometimes based off of I couldn't tell you what, but you wind up, no, it's going higher, I'm not selling, and then you ride it all the way back down and you regret it, right? You're much better off, right? right? Anyone who was selling Bitcoin up here at, 45 to 50K, right? These people are looked at as idiots. But in hindsight, they pretty much sold the top. And you don't have to sell it all, right? You could dollar cost average. If you buy in down here, why not take a small percentage off here, a little bit of a bigger percentage off here, a little bit of a bigger percentage off here. And then at least if you hold a portion of your bag to the bottom, you have taken profits and made some money in the bull market, right? So this is how I approach my long-term investment strategy here in crypto is I will dollar cost average on the way out. And I'm not going to lie, guys, we're getting pretty dang close to my next target, right? So yeah. Just don't fall into it. If you're hitting these macro targets, putting in bearish signals, don't fall for the this time is different, super cycle, this is the golden bull run, it's never going back down. You don't get it. It's more fundamentally bullish than ever. It's so funny, right? This will happen. Mark my words. This is one thing I can 100% guarantee you. Maybe not 100%, but I'll just put 100% guarantee on it. Those sentiments will pop up at the absolute worst time to buy. It happens every time. Bitcoin was more fundamentally bullish than ever up here too. What happens? You still get the bear market, right? Don't listen to the narratives, listen to the charts, and your boy Frankie Candles will be here breaking down the charts for you every single step of the way, short term, long term, all that. So smash that like button if you like the free content. But that's what we're going to be looking at. I'm going to go over timing with you guys in just a minute. But let me come in and check in on chat. I feel like I've been neglecting you guys today. I did have a lot to talk about. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Shout out to Captain Kirk. What is going on? Welcome in. We got Darren Delsings in the chat as well, guys. Show the mods some love in the chat. They help us out endlessly with this YouTube channel, as you guys know. So if you love them as much as we do, show them some love in the chat. Do you think we will see sub 50K in the bear market? Shout out to Crypto Independent. This is hard. This is really hard to call, at least at this stage, right? All we can really do, and I'll kind of walk you through what I looked for here, right? My bottom prediction, right, for the 2022 bear market was between 12 and 14K. We bottomed out, right? I would never say that I sniped the bottom, right? I could just round up and be like, we called the bottom perfectly, right? But that's not the case, right? There's no way for me to make a prediction up here and just nail it to the dollar. It's unless there's a huge element of luck to it. But 12 to 14K, where'd we bottom out? 15,479. I mean, that's as close as you're going to get. But again, I'm not sitting here with my whole bag waiting for 12K or waiting for 14K, even if I could get it this close, right? So what do? I dollar cost average on the way down. And if I was buying here, and we came back down, I would just keep buying, right? Until I saw some real signs of weakness. But obviously not what we would have expected. So it's really, really hard to say. All we can really do is kind of look at the past and try to predict, what has happened in the past and, try to take into effect hey, the market cap's a little higher. There's a lot of situations that can happen. It's really hard to call how low you'll go in the next bear market, especially when you don't know where the top comes in, right? If you wind up getting some crazy rip up here into $200,000, the bottom might be a little bit higher than it is if we topped out where we are right now. So it's a little early to call that. We can make our predictions as we get a little more information. But, you would think that the higher the market cap, maybe the more suppressed the bear markets are. But there's a lot of nuance to that. There's certain things that can happen that could make that not be the case, right? So it's just a really hard thing to call. And once we get closer, we'll be able to make more accurate kind of guesses on that. But yeah, traditionally, you could just measure the previous bear markets, right? And then you could take the average of the, let's see, so just roughly here, 86%, 84%, 77%, right? So you could see that they get less and less over time, which makes sense to me because as the market cap goes up, more money comes into the asset. It does kind of cushion it. So you could kind of take that into effect, but you never know, right? There's a lot of leverage in Bitcoin. It doesn't mean that you can't see something different play out, but we can try to make those guesses. And really for me to say when I thought the bottom was coming in here in 2022, it really didn't even have as much to do with the price as it did with what the chart looked like, as always, right? If the bottom looked like it was coming in here at 27K, and I saw the signs for it, I would have said, hey, this looks like the bottom, even if I was anticipating price to come to 15K, right? But, we had that 12 to 14K level that we were looking at. But once we got down to 15, whatever it is, 15,570 or 15,600, whatever it is, what do we start seeing happen here? We had nice weekly bullish divergences, which oftentimes could indicate a macro bottom, right? And then money flow starts coming back up, and you're thinking, well, hey, that weekly money flow crosses into the green. all other cycles, that has indicated that the bottom is in. So, and even before we came into this bottom, I have a video somewhere on the channel from, back here somewhere saying, if we see a weekly bull div, that might be the bottom signal to look for. And that's exactly what we saw to play out. But I was a little off on the actual price target, right? Can't expect to be 100% correct on the actual number. Very difficult to do. But if this weekly bull div was happening up here and the money flow looked the same, I probably would have said the bottom was earlier, right? If we kept dumping and there was no weekly bull div and then the weekly bull div formed at 12K, I would have said the bottom was there, right? So it has everything to do with the information that comes in on the chart in real time. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. Let's see. Shout out to Erica. Said literally left work early to be here and traffic sucked. Shout out to Erica. Appreciate you leaving that job to get the sauce. I love it. Shout out to Erica, one of our elite female CandleMafia members. Let's go. Shout out to Crypto Independent. Said I remember Capo was saying 6 to 3K was coming. Yeah, shout out to Crypto Independent. I mean, you'll never see me make like a call that's just like I don't know when they called for that or what it was based off of. Maybe it was based off legit information. I have no idea. But at the end of the day, right, there's people always calling for way lower, people always calling for way higher. You're never just going to see me say like, next bear market, we're going to 30K, guys, watch out for it. Like, I wish I could do that. That'd be crazy. But, I mean, hey, if we got to pull back to like 67K and it looked like it was the bottom of the bear market, I'm going to call it, right? But we can't say that until the information comes in. So there you go. And by the way, this is how we are so accurate on this channel. It's because we just go off the charts, not just based off what we think is going to happen. We say what we think is going to happen, but based off the charts. And the charts are the truth, as we all know. Shout out to the Candle Mafia. Let's see. Shout out to G. Said smash that like button, guys. Run it up. Let's get 550. And then from 550, let's go straight up to 1,000. Let's get it. Let's see. It was the bear market low he was calling for that at 3K. Dang. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, I could have been wrong too, right? But again, I'm not making these gambles, right? These are gambles for me to say, hey, guys, next bear market, right? It's just like a total gamble. Like, there's no way. You have to see what the situation is, right? Yeah, I mean, at that point, right, again, if you're taking the, as you notice when I measured these bear markets, right, every single one had gotten a little bit less percentage every single time, right? A little bit less. And you take that into consideration and you're thinking, well, hey, we got a little less percentage in this one, a little less percentage in this one would be very, very likely. And you kind of ballpark that. Maybe you take an average and then you could say, well, hey, maybe if we hit around, 75 to 77%, that would be somewhat likely, right? But again, that doesn't even guarantee it as well. If we hit, we could have gone deeper in this bear market, but, when we get those massive bullish signals with the, kind of same percentage that you're looking for, it's like multiple things lining up. And that's how you can make an accurate call like that. Let's see. Shout out to Nirvana. Said ETH will front run 10K in my opinion. Shout out to Nirvana. That would make sense for me as well. Let's see. Shout out to Team. Says, Frankie, open the big long. We want the all-time high. Should we just full port my entire net worth on 100x leverage? And we'll have to go to somewhere else where we can do 500x and just launch this thing up. Let's do it. Where's Golden when you need him? Come on, Golden. Push this thing into new all-time highs. Let's go. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Says, man spits fire. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Welcome in, bro. Good to see you. Billy and Cap, I did get your text messages. I will answer you. I'm never ignoring you. I've had a crazy couple days. But shout out to Crypto Billy and Cap. I will answer your texts. Let's see. Shout out to Jay. Says, here every week. Several times a week. Shout out to Jay. I don't know if you're talking about me or you. Probably both of us. Let's see. Light the candle, baby. Shout out to Alan. Nobody misses me. WTF. That's not family. That's not family love, guys. Really? I could not come back. Shout out to Pose. Welcome in, bro. Please come back. Please come back. We love you, bro. Call Satoshi, please, Frankie. Shout out to Akbari. Yeah. Maybe I'll make a call to him tonight after I get off the live stream. Okay, so we took a look at Ethereum. I went over my kind of overall thesis why I'm bullish, guys, but how can we see this play out timing-wise? Because I think this is where a lot of people get tripped up. They think like, and I always bring this up when it comes to money flow, right? And I'm going to bring up Ethereum because it's very clear here. Weekly money flow crossover, massive bullish signal. This is the truth, right? If this plays out the way that they typically do, this is a massive bullish signal, right? But this does not mean up in a straight line, right? Like I said, you have some time for the rate cuts. This is the main narrative that a lot of people use, right? You start to get these high predictions of a rate cut. This kind of prices itself into the market. Does not mean that the second they hit that button, right, or the second that they decide to cut rates, there really is no button, but, it doesn't mean that it's just like instant up from there. I wish it was this easy, but it's really not. It's more of like an overall, you have to let things kind of ebb and flow and just get that wave correct. So when you see money flow like this, I'll bring up Bitcoin real quick. Weekly money flow crossover in the bear market into the green. You got the first one to happen right here. What does this indicate? This is a massive bullish signal. Just this little blip into the green is a massive bullish signal. This does not mean 100K in the next week, 100K in the next month, right? You could see how long it takes to actually see that wave play out, right? And you even faked back out into the red. But once you get that weekly money flow crossover into the green, it typically indicates that it's bull time, right? But this does not predict, this money flow crossover does not predict these pullbacks, right? This is on Bitcoin, 18% pullback, 20% pullback, right? Even deeper in the wave, right? You get another 32% pullback, right? But the overall money flow crossover indicates the long-term trend. So when we see something like that on Ethereum, this does not mean weekly money flow crossover, one green candle to 8K, right? Or whatever the target is. This could, because I think a lot of people can get confused over this. We're trying to predict the overall long-term trend. Money flow crossover to the green, mega bullish. Oh my God, what happened? I thought money flow was coming into the green. I thought this was a bullish signal. Why are we dumping? You have to take a full understanding of the market. You have to zoom out, right? You can't just expect to get rich in one day. You have to understand that this is a journey, right? So any of these pullbacks, as I've said, very high probability of higher lows and higher highs because of this money flow, but it's not going to call these pullbacks. So again, right, if this was an instant signal, we could say, hey, alt season's happening right now, let's go, right? But we could still have a little bit of noise to come in here, which is very likely to translate into the other altcoins. This could be very brutal, right? If we pulled back to the value area high, again, I wouldn't even really guarantee this necessarily. That's a 27% dump. This is everybody thinking the weekly money flow crossover was BS, right? You can't use money flow, it doesn't work, right? No, it's just not going to be an instant signal, right? There was something that could click on the screen, a green dot could pop on the screen, and it was an instant buy signal, which I know in hindsight, it looks like you could do this, like just buy the green dot, sell the red dots. But look what would have happened here. You would have bought this green dot, sold the red dot, right? I mean, hey, you would have made a little bit of money, but you missed you missed the forest for the trees, right? So just keep that in mind, right? So from a timing perspective, how long can this take? I think it's going to take a little bit of time, right? Hopefully it doesn't, right? Hopefully we just launch into new all-time highs. That'd be absolutely beautiful to just get it started early. And I don't think this is impossible, but just be prepared, right? Like maybe leading up until September, it could be a bumpy ride if you don't get that early squeeze to the upside. So I would say, obviously watching the September rate cuts, this would be a big date, right? So I would say about a month. And then when we pull up our Fibonacci time chart, which I do have here somewhere, we do have this 1-to-1 fib sitting on October 20th. We talked about this yesterday, guys. And then when we look at this on Bitcoin, we do have the bull market support band sitting here as well at around 108K. So even if we do see some kind of effery here, there is still time to get these pullbacks, stay above that bull market support band, and then finally build up that top leading into October. So just to give you guys a little bit of a realistic timeline, right? Let's just measure it here from where we are. Let me pull up the daily chart. From where we are now into September, where we at, right? So, we'll say about a month, right? 31 days till the potential rate cuts. And then into October, right? It's, I would hope that we're actually cooking by that time, but, October 20th, this is definitely a date that I'm paying attention to. And, from a simple perspective, the heck? Anyway, what a rude light. But just understand this. Does not mean it has to be this. I hope it's this, guys. I really do, right? And I can't say it's impossible, but the more likely situation, in my opinion, is to really freak people out. And we do have a lot of room for that to happen before finally seeing something happen. So, we're just going to try to figure out that noise just like this, right? What was our longer-term prediction here, right? And this was in August of 2024 when we were dumping down. Everyone freaks out, and it's the long-term sentiment is still intact here. This is it's very hard. I mean, we do call most of this, right? But it's very hard to, guess exactly what the structure is going to look like before you make that new high. All you can say is there's a higher probability of putting in that new high, and you could keep that in mind when you're dumping to the downside so you're not getting bearish at the bottom. You're getting bullish and looking at it as a buy-the-dip opportunity. So that's kind of what we're dealing with, right? Like here, we expected a new high to come. Were we afraid of these dumps? No. It's going to be the same thing here. If we start getting crazy dumps here, some effery, as I say, right? We're not just losing faith, right? You just understand that the market moves in ebbs and flows, and it's not just always up in a straight line. So you do have some time for that stuff to develop. So just to kind of manage expectations, doesn't mean everything has to rip right this second. And again, I say this every stream for the past months now, right? These pullbacks that we see are going to be buy the dip opportunities, especially when you see that fresh crossover into the green on ETH on the weekly time frame, right? On top of that, I took a look at OKB today, which had an absolute face melting. What was this, like 120-something% or 225%? But the daily candle, or I guess it continued to rip here. Yeah, I mean, that 200% candle here. This is bullish, right? And the reason I say this, guys, is because sometimes when you see these exchange tokens rip early, these are like the early warning shots that alt season is around the corner. Not going to happen tomorrow, right? Next week, maybe not even, right? 2 weeks from now, maybe not. But it is an early warning shot, and we even saw this happen on BNB, as we covered back when this was happening. BNB even getting the early moves up, right? Pull up a monthly time frame here. Here's your 2021 top. BNB pushing into new all-time highs, right? Like, this is a very good indication. And if you did not watch the market update earlier today, go watch it. I kind of explain, like, why this is the case, right? Like, I compared it to a casino, right? Like, you go in, and maybe this is a bad metaphor or analogy. I always mix those two up. But even though it's, like, my main way of teaching. But there's a reason why I'm teaching charts, not English. But if you could think of the exchanges as the casino, right? Not that you should ever be gambling with your crypto, but the exchanges are like your casino, right? And like the house always wins. Whether you're winning trades or losing trades, they're getting paid off the fees. This oftentimes creates pumps on the exchange tokens, and this could show you that attention is coming back into the market. And it is early precursors to an alt season being around the corner and retail coming back in for that final exciting finale of the bull market, which is what everybody comes for. And it does just seem like hopefully you've kind of taken all these major things. I have them written down here so I can say them simply because we cover a lot of stuff here. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum's charts, as well as the altcoin charts with the high time frame money flow coming up, all called off the earlier money flow crossovers months ago or weeks ago. Dominance coming down, all the money flow and dominance coming down, altcoins and Ethereum money flow coming up. You have the total charts approaching their highs or making new all-time highs, and then it all lines up. You have the exchange tokens starting to push up. You have all the high cap cryptos such as XRP, Chainlink. All this stuff is holding up really well and pushing to the upside. And then you pair that along with the macroeconomic liquidity cycle, and it's just all lining up here, guys. And trust me, if there is anything that I'm missing that I'm made aware of that is pointing in the wrong direction, I'll be the first person to let you know. But just so you know, this is never based off people calling for alt season, and then we feel like, oh, it's alt season, right? There's been times in the past where people are looking for alt season, and again, I have to be that guy where I'm like, I don't know, guys. Like, the charts are not saying that. Could these people be right for whatever reason they're looking at? I never really know what they look at. But if it's not on the charts, it's not something I'm going to call for. But at this point, if someone's calling for alt season and you say make a counter argument, I'd look at the charts and be like, nah, I don't know. The charts look actually kind of good right now. So, everything is just lining up perfectly. And hopefully, guys, what a long ride. What a long ride. From, I started my channel like right up here, like on the way down. I think it was January. It was like right here on this monthly candles where I started this channel. What a long road it has been. And I'm low-key proud, right? It's a lot of pressure to come up here in front of everybody and make these calls. And we're not right 100% of the time, but I'm pretty proud of these long-term, just following along with this cycle. We've got it so nailed on almost perfectly. Obviously not 100%, but it's been such a long road, and it would be so nice. This thing will wrap up. It'll be super exciting. And then, it's like, look, we're not crazy. Alt season did happen, right? We had to wait a really long time. But it would just be such a nice thing to just finally see this thing finish off. And it will be low-key sad, too, because at the end of the day, once we go into the bear market, tons of people are going to leave. But again, I still think we have a lot of time, right? I don't think retail's here fully. So there's still tons of excitement and tons of opportunity in these markets. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of these key levels, because sometimes we drop market updates in the middle of the day looking at targets. And then sometimes we just come up and hit those targets shortly after. So make sure you don't miss the live streams. Let's see. Look at the BTC chart. There it is. New all-time high. Hey, there we go, baby. There we go. Bada boom. Come on. Hit that TP. Hit that. Hit that. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on. Hit it. Let's go. Let's go. Dumping. Shout out to Eugene. Yo, shout out to Eugene Sky. We just pumped. Now we're dumping. Pull up the 1 second chart. Pull up the 1 second chart. Good Lord. One tick. No, oh, God, I might have broke trading view. 1 second. There we go. Oh, now we're dumping. Oh, now we're pumping, baby. We're pumping. Let's go. Let's go. But there we go. I guess, yeah, happy all time. I mean, did we close like a 1 minute candle up there? Come on, trading view. This is how you know Bitcoin's moving. Trading view decides to choke out here. Let's see. Finally, let's go. We're not crazy. Yeah, we'll take a look at Chainlink. Shout out to JP. The rocket is strapped up. Frankie the Mad Scientist is always on point. Shout out to DJ Mad. Let's go, baby. Let's go. I mean, hey, I guess we'll have to pull up another. All right. Oh, my God, guys. This literally happens to TradingView every time, and it's like people get their notifications, new all-time high, their alerts go off, and then TradingView completely chokes, but they don't know they're ruining the Frankie Candles live stream. There we go. All right, let's see here. Let me mark out that all-time high. Good Lord, this is brutal. All right. Let's just go ahead and pop this over here. Let's come on down to a lower time frame. There we go, guys. Brand new all-time high. Not that if we wicked above it, it wouldn't be an all-time high, but there we go. Happy all-time high, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Love it. Shout out to Dave Digital. Says, hey, noobs, take a swing short. We need the rocket fuel. Shout out to Dave Digital. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right, let's see. Let's check in on the trade here. Bada boom. Up 3K. Profits locked in, 2,200. Profits locked in. Let's go. Keep cooking, baby. Keep cooking. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on. Man, are we going to get the early breakout? We just talked about, hey, maybe, manage expectations. Doesn't have to come up right now. But, hey, if I'm going to be wrong about something, I hope it's that. I hope we just take off from here. But, again, this is where all the emotions are going to come in. Oh, my God, we're going up in a straight line. This does not guarantee we're going to continue up. But let's go. New all-time high, baby. And that would be 123,619. Previous all-time high, 123,250. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Oh, man, it feels so good. That's really funny because I was just saying, like, how it's been such a long road. I didn't even realize Bitcoin was putting in that all-time high as I was saying that, guys. Well, if you've been here in the Mafia since the beginning, smash that like button if you have not already, guys. Beautiful to see. Breakout on stream. Call Golden. Somebody ring Golden, baby. Hang on 1 second. Oh, man, I don't have my money on the desk. I'm not going to go get it. It would be really fun to throw some money right now, though. Asian session dump, potentially Nirvana, potentially. And, again, guys, you do have to be yeah, shout out to Maniac Killer said, please, peeps, do not trade that right now. Please do not trade that right now. Shout out to Maniac. Yeah, this is, again, this is not, just to be clear, guys, if you just popped in here, I did not, just take this long position. This long position was taken, was it yesterday? Losing track of time here. This was taken 2 days ago. I think I said yesterday or the other day. This was taken in the premium Discord a couple of days ago, guys. Entering on the POC. That is not a long position from right here. This is not, could you long here and continue to make money? Maybe. But again, where do we take those long positions? On the pushes. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on. You don't front run the final TP like that. But yeah, where are we taking those positions, guys? We're taking it on, actually, I'll get the arrow off the chart. Love when Bitcoin follows your magical line. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but it does eventually follow, more often than not. But where are we taking the long positions, guys? On the drops to the downside. Oh, my God, we're dumping, right? That's where we're longing, not on the pumps. So we can enjoy the full ride to the upside. There we go. All right, let's see. Shout out to Space said 2 days ago, so 2 weeks ago in crypto time. Yeah, pretty much. Yo, shout out to Jerome said, forget Frankie candles. I want God candles. Let's go. I would not mind God candles as well. And then again, guys, we do have those upper targets that we just looked at earlier today, which is sitting, on the market update. That was our next target. Right up here, flip above here, we could be looking between 125 and 126K. Got to hold this level, though, right? We still have some time. You got to be careful, guys. Like, even on a daily candle, right? How long do we have for this? $1.09? Wow, I'm cooked, guys. An hour and 9 minutes. Not $1.09. My whole life is looking at numbers, guys. So sometimes I mess up the time and the prices. But even if we wick up, right, you got to be careful of potential sweeps of that liquidity before pullbacks, right? So it doesn't guarantee that we can't get the pullback. I mean, it is nice to see. Hopefully we don't have to get the pullback, but just be aware, right? I never want to just create random FOMO for no reason. Let's see. Solana. All right, let's take a look at Solana. It might have did what I just said. I said we were creeping up to that. Okay, so let's cover some of the altcoins here, guys. I will keep an eye on Bitcoin as always. Just set an alert here. So if we get a move, we can come back in and check on it. I'll put it right on that TP. Bada boom. And then we'll take a look at Solana here. Now, yesterday on Solana, or not even yesterday, but over the past, I guess since the 2nd, looking for the higher low for a potential break above this value area low to put in a break of structure to the upside. So you have your low, your high, your higher low, and your higher high. That is the anticipation. I can't tell you guys how many times we've drawn this line of the low, high, higher low, and higher high, but that is the higher probability situation, especially when you get that beautiful bounce not only on the golden pocket, but also the anchored VWAP. Absolutely perfect. And we can get rid of this. This is a local fib that we were looking at. And what happens, guys? Literally exactly what we look for. And I don't say that to brag. I just say, wow, that's amazing, right? TA is magical. And I guess technically we have not gotten the cracker structure to the upside just yet, but this is what we say. On the pullbacks, you do not want to get scared, right? And the Mafia was ready for this. Money flow in the green. Oh, my God, we're dumping. What's happening? This is scary. No, it's not. Look for your key levels of support. Higher probability with money flow in the green is higher lows, higher highs, especially when you have the golden pocket pulled from the low. Low, high. Where are you looking for the first place to put in a higher low? Right on that golden pocket. If you get the higher low, you're looking for the break of structure to the upside. Will it break? Let's see. We'll get an alert if it does happen. But again, kind of one of those times where it's just we're just seeing what we wanted to play out, right? There's really no, it all remains the same. If we crack this structure to the upside, next major target, as you guys know, flip that value area low. Next likely place for price to go is that POC where we have the macro golden pocket sitting right here between 225.94 and 216.87. There you go. See if we can get it. That'd be crazy. I'm just going to start drawing lines on the chart and trading just based off the lines I draw. But there we go. All right, so we'll see if we crack that high. Again, be careful. I don't really love the these deep pullbacks for the higher highs. Typically, when I'm looking for bearish divergences, it's more you want to see the bearish divergence form at the high of a move. This is a little different, right? You have a higher high in your price action, potential lower high in your momentum waves on the 2-day, also on the daily. All right, so you could have that daily bearish divergence if you do get that higher high, but it's you do have it to the bodies of your candles on the 2-day, but again, it's I would much more prefer something like this. You have a high, a higher high, and then you come down. I wouldn't really look at that as strong as a divergence, in my opinion, from what I see play out time and time again. So, looks good. Target remains the same. Watch that POC at 216.90. Let's see if we can crack that structure to the upside and push in. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's see. Pump up the likes, everybody. Shout out to Jesse. That's what he said, but I agree with him. Smash that like button if you have not already. Let's see. Shout out to Digital Pencil. We know Digital Pencil's been holding USDC, waiting for the pump. It'll happen, Digital Pencil. I'm telling you, it's bull div after bull div. Eventually, you're going to get that pump on USDC. I would predict somewhere between 99 cents and $1. Shout out to Digital Pencil. All right, let's continue on here. Shout out to Mr. Q. Shout out to Mr. Q. Said, love you, man. Love you back, bro. Love you back. Thank you for being here. Once we hit 124K, we moon. All the shorts will get liquidated. Nothing stopping us. Shout out to Jerome. And we're not talking about Jerome Powell. Let's go ahead and take a look at those liquidity heat maps really quickly. Let me pull up that 2-week time frame. Come on, I'm going to take a sip of that black coffee. It's way too late to be drinking black coffee here, but that's all right. We're going to keep doing it. Shout out to Santa Maria. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you. He says, you the man, Frankie. Can you check Pro Property? Can we take a look at Pro? We'll try to take a look at Pro. If I could find a pen, maybe I would write it down. The pen is all the way on the other side of the studio here. But I will try to take a look at Proppy. Shout out to Santa. Quick reminder, guys, please do not super chat your altcoins. I mean, you can, but I don't want anyone wasting money. There's no guarantee that we're going to take a look at them. We might run out of time. We have other stuff to look at, and I can't just take every single request. You can put them in the free chat. I will take them for the free chat as well. But shout out to Santa Maria. I will try to take a look at Proppy for you. Actually, I haven't taken a look at that in a while. Richardson 112 on the way, I guess. Shout out to Jesse. Let's go. Bitcoin dominance. Shout out to Williams. We did take a look at Bitcoin dominance earlier in the stream. So just scrub back to the beginning of the stream. You'll see the dominance chart. I covered it in full. I'm not going to recover it because a lot of people are already here. But if you scrub back, you will see that. Yeah, so there you go. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Alan. I almost said Alien. Says Netflix and chill or Frankie Candles and change your life forever. Shout out to Alan, man. That's crazy. Shout out to Alan. I appreciate you for saying that, man. God, please give us God candles. Let's go. All right, so let's jump into some other altcoins, guys. We will take a look at Chainlink. We'll take a look at Cardano. We'll take a look at XRP. I'll actually jump into XRP right now. What was this XRP chart? Interesting. All right, so let's take a look here. XRP kind of chilling, to be honest. Just kind of still chilling below that all-time high. But, again, same thing as Solana. We didn't go for that full golden pocket retracement, which we all know was sitting down here at 250 to 260. You have the golden pocket, the local 786, daily MPOC, and the value area high. For some reason, if we did have to come back down, this would still be a huge level to look at for support, 250 to 260, that is. So that does still sit down there, but what happened here? So why we give you the macro levels as well as the local levels, because there's no guarantee that you have to go for that full golden pocket retracement. So if you're not going to go for the full golden pocket retracement, where are you going to bounce from? Well, which is still trending up, currently sitting at 295, but we are cooking, right? If we could crack out of this all-time high and flip this Fibonacci extension target or level to support, next target for XRP is going to be sitting up here between 416 and 453. That's what I'm looking at, right? That's not my bull market target. If you guys want to see my bull market predictions, at Tony D, if you could drop that link in the chat. If you guys want to open that in a new tab, pause it, and then come back to the live stream and go back to that after, you could see my bull market targets. But 416 to 453 would be the next local targets. This would be like similar to, Ethereum coming into like 5,800, I would say. So yeah, that would be the first major pocket that I would be watching. And other than that, remember, guys, most altcoins are following the same thing, right? Even if you just look at XRP, 2-day money flow crossover into the green. This is very similar to what we saw on Ethereum. Cardano, like everything that has already moved. The early movers, all these 2-day money flow crossovers were the early indication, right? And this is what we were talking about all the way back here before we started the move. Same thing back here. What were we looking at on the original breakout in 2024? We had that 2-day money flow crossover. Sure enough, a little while later, oh my God, these 2-day money flow crossovers are nothing to scoff at, guys. And I would just say on all altcoins, pretty much, other than like outliers, it all looks the same, right? And so yeah, that's the next target I would be looking at on XRP. And overall, right, same thing I was looking at on Ethereum, money flow wise, all looks the same. So yeah, there we go. Shout out to the XRP army. Let's go H-bar. Yeah, we can take a look at H-bar real quick, though. Before we do that, I will jump into Cardano. Cardano cooking up here. It's just right into our Fibonacci retracement levels. Sitting between this purple box. And this entire box was the resistance, guys. Typically, the 786 is the doorway to higher prices. But because we're so close to the actual doorway to higher prices, which is the value area low, I marked this off as like an entire zone. And here we are. Cracking above the 786, attempting to get back into the value area high, and then we have this will it break level, which is based off the fact that we did get the bounce off of our local golden pocket, right, or actually pulled from the impulse golden pocket POC, right? So this is full golden pocket retracement starts at 67 cents, but there's no guarantee that you have to come down there. If we do come back down, just understand that those levels are there. But we did bounce off the local golden pocket POC. Was this the anchored VWAP too, similar to Solana? It was, right? It's like the same thing. It's like pretty much the same chart. But I don't want to say it's the same chart, but it's like same theory here, right? Anchored VWAP from the low, was confluent with the golden pocket. You dip it, you flip it, and you send it. So next target to the upside is your golden pocket 786 value area low. Here we are sitting at that level. Where were we yesterday? Yesterday was the 12th. say at like 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Yeah, so we were sitting right here looking for that continuation up through this profile or through this Fibonacci retracement zone. Flip this value area low. And again, the reason we have this will it break level is the same thing that we looked at on Solana. You have your low, your high or low. You have to look, right, for the high probability to be that break of structure to the upside. And I would say flipping that value area low, not only did you bounce off the golden pocket, which gives you an opportunity of putting in that higher high on your price action for that break of structure right here of the high at about 93 cents, but once you get accepted into this volume profile, not only could you look for the break of structure to the upside, but if you could remain inside this range, you could start your journey up towards the point of control sitting at about $1.21. Flip $1.21, you could potentially continue your move through the profile, hit that POC, flip that POC, look up towards the value area high. Could be a monster move coming on Cardano if you can hold inside of this range. That's what we're looking at. I mean, yeah, I don't. There's really not that much to talk about. Not that much more. 2-day money flow crossover into the green. Same thing as XRP. 3-day money flow hasn't even crossed over yet. Still, still headed in the right direction. 4-day money flow curving up. 5-day money flow in the green. 6-day money flow in the green. Weekly money flow in the green. So again, it does not mean that you have to go up in a straight line. This is usually a very choppy journey through the profile, right? You might kind of bing bong around, hit the POC, get a correction, right? But the overall anticipation is to fulfill that range. And I always bring up Ethereum. These volume profiles are goated. We knew once we flipped the value area low, next likely place for price to go is the POC, but we cooled off. But we stay inside the profile and eventually get the fill of the range. That is the long-term anticipation, but it can be a messy journey. So just be aware of that. Same thing on Cardano. Maybe you get up there, flip the POC, correction, right? Hopefully it's just an aggressive fill, but you have to understand that it could be a very messy journey. So there you go. That's what I'll be looking at on Cardano, or Cardanzo, as some people like to say. Let's see. Shout out to Warpaint said, congrats, Candle Crew. Let's go, baby. Let's go. New all-time highs finally. 123.51. We're already back down. We're already back down below it. 100x short. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. Do not ever take signals online. Should we do it for fun? I never want to teach bad habits, but did just SFP the all-time high on the 1 hour. Confirmed SFP. Definitely a dangerous scenario, right? You know, you gotta be very, very careful shorting all-time highs. But yeah, that was nice to see on live. We very, very rarely get moves on the live stream, not gonna lie. Shout out to Darren, says super chats, Frankie. Thank you, Darren, for reminding me about that. Oh God, we got a few of them. Hang on 1 second here. Shout out to Rana. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, when will you expect the top to come in? And is rate cuts timing consistent with previous bull runs? I don't know exactly what you mean by consistent with previous bull runs, but from a timing perspective, it's going to be very hard. It's impossible to say the top will. I could give a range, and we actually did talk about that a little bit earlier, Rana. If you didn't see, if you scrub back, I kind of talk about that timing. October 20th, we do have a time fib, a 1-to-1 time fib that would be an interesting place in my opinion to potentially put in a top. Where did that go? Let me see here. Am I tripping? Where the heck did that go? All right. Well, I guess we don't have it on the chart anymore. It might be here. No? What the heck? All right. Well, we do have a 1-to-1 time fib that comes in on October 20th. I actually have the line here. It's not the. It's just a. Oh no, this is. Yeah, October 20th. So, this is the 1-to-1 time fib. I mean, this is where the top in 2021 came in. It doesn't guarantee it has to be the same, but it does line up pretty nicely, right? If you are going to put a top in, and for what it's worth, right? It's a similar situation, right? In my opinion, the real top of the previous bull market was in April of 2021. This was pretty much a dead cat bounce. This typically, right, because we talked about how sentiment peaked here, search term analytics peaked here, and then on the second rise, everything made lower highs. Social sentiment, everything made lower highs here, giving you some kind of bearish divergence between your search term analytics and all that and your price action. So, this was like a dead cat. This is like a weird, inflated dead cat bounce. So I always say this was really the top in 2021, but technically the numerical dollar all-time high came in here in November of 2021, which is really interesting, to be quite honest, because it's September, October, and then you kind of peak out in that November area. This is very similar, right? If we're going to come in, and that was the 1-to-1 time fib right there. we have that similar kind of situation. That 1-to-1 time fib is just sitting right in that September-October zone, right? Well, really, it's sitting on October 20th, but it's in that, you're never going to get it to the dollar or the day, right? So, yeah, I mean, timing-wise, definitely October 20th is something I would look for. But there's never anything that's easy to just say, like, on this day, the top is going to come in. I would say fib time would be, like, somewhat of a good way to try to guess that, but you're never just going to be like, I wish I knew when we would top out exactly. If I knew, it would be the easiest thing in the world, but that's just not the case. So hopefully that helps you out, Rana. And shout out to Recovering Architect and Mrs. B. Thank you for getting those memberships, guys. I appreciate you so much. Dave Digital, shout out to Dave, says, happy all-time high day. I appreciate you, Dave. Let's go, baby. Dave, it's been a long journey, bro. Finally, another new all-time high. It hasn't been a long journey since the previous all-time high, but a long journey since you've been here, Dave. Shout out to Dave Digital. Shout out to Pose. Thank you for the super chat. Said, thank you for this crazy TA. Bottom call on Ethereum at 1350. I come back from the hospital after a crash with my car. There we are, 35x from 1350 to 4700. GG's, bro. Shout out to Pose. Let's go, bro. I appreciate that super chat, man. And, yeah, I mean, hey, it's the charts, man. I have been looking at the charts for, the better half of a decade, but, yeah, I mean, this is, we teach this every day, and Pose, you know that, but I appreciate that, man, Let's go. TA slaps, baby, TA slaps. We appreciate you, Pose. F in dollars, thank you for the super chat. Said, are you currently using Spiderlines, Gonfan for support and resistance confluence? Or may I know what you're using / recommended in your experience? Shout out to F in dollars. Spider lines are also goated. I love spider lines. Shout out to Crypto Phase. I did not invent these guys. I don't even know if Crypto Phase did. He's the one that I saw talking about them. But spider lines, they're essentially just trend lines. And I do use these. You could see, and I've talked about this before in my Bitcoin deep dives, where we have confluence. And look at the timing here, guys, because it's been a little while since I've looked at this. These spider lines fly right through this macro extension level, right? Spider lines fly right through there, and you could just see how strong these spider lines are, right? Boom, support, boom. Now we're kind of just floating in the middle of them. But I mentioned this in previous deep dive videos where we have these spider lines. Depending on how fast you come in, they could be very confluent. Low key, the timing is perfect. If we get the breakout, again, whether we pull back or not or whatever, once we get up here, it's like, the thunder is crazy. Oh, God, that might not be good for price action. But $137,000, which is bull market target number 2, right? First bull market target was up in here, which was perfect, right? We hit it. We got the cool off, flip above it. Now we're tapping our next major bull market target. But I would say the end of that target does sit at 137K. Not only do you have the Fibonacci extension, you also have this pocket of spider lines. Could be a perfect place to start to cool off, build out a top, and then that October 1-to-1 fib on October 20th comes in. And again, it doesn't have to play out like this, right? It'd be crazy if it does. But you can just see that confluence there. So spider lines, I have videos showing you how to pull spider lines on ETH, Bitcoin, all that. But yeah, I do use spider lines for my longer term analysis. I mean, you could use them for short terms as well. But yeah, Gonfans are great as well. I have a tutorial on Gonfans. I don't use the Gonfans like very often, but they are definitely a good tool. You can only look at so much stuff before it just becomes overwhelming. But yeah, I would say both of those are very good. MPOCs are like one of my favorite levels of support and resistance as well. So yeah, shout out to F and dollars. Hopefully that helps you out, bro. And shout out to Santa Maria. We read that Proppy. Shout out to you, man. I will try to take a look at Proppy for you. And Tony D says more likes equals more chances to win giveaways. Also, if we hit 600 likes by 7:15, I will gift memberships. Shout out to Tony D. We still got 5 minutes, baby. Run it up to 600 likes. Let's go. Run it up to 600 likes. Tony D dumps memberships. Tony, you can dump them from the Frankie Candles account. Please don't dump them from your personal account, or I will Venmo you. But anyway, shout out to Serbo says, how do I get spider lines? Check the tutorials. Just search like Frankie Candle spider lines. It should pop up. Or you can just look through the channel. I think there's a literal spider. It's an old video. Don't roast me in the chat. Don't roast me in the comments. It's an old video. Probably cringy. I won't watch it, so I couldn't tell you, but it is an older video, so just be aware. Shout out to J-Bone said, I recall that afternoon we met to darn near $1,300 on ETH. Was a wild afternoon. Definitely beat the box up that day. Shout out to Jay. We'll take a look at H-bar. Shout out to Digital Pencil said, I just watched the spider line video the other day. Hey, Digital Pencil, let me know, bro. How bad is it? It's an old video. It's an old video, man. I couldn't watch it. I would cringe. Oh, God. 5 more minutes, 51 more likes, baby. Smash that like button, guys. Let's go. While you're smashing that like button, we'll take a look at Proppy and H-Bar. Shout out to the Moon. Thank you for the super chat. Said, how can I join the Discord? What's good, gang? All-time high. Shout out to the Moon. Looking to spend some of the profits here. Shout out to the Moon. You can check the link in the description down below, or I think the easiest way is to just go to frankiecandlestrading.com and you'll see like all the options that we have, the subscription options. And there's the link from Tony D. Wow, quick with it, baby, quick with it. Digital Pencil said, Frankie, you're a natural, baby. I appreciate that, Digital Pencil. Let's go. I appreciate that. But yeah, if you want to join the Discord, not a signals group. I even kind of like teased it a little bit here. Like what I typically do in the Discord, guys, is I let everybody know, like, hey, this is where we're going to be looking for a potential long position, right, before price gets there. And actually, funny enough, this line is still on the chart. Just to show this. This is not a brag, guys. I never do this to brag. Bragging is cringy. This is not why I'm doing this, and I hope you guys understand that. But just to kind of show you, this is like kind of funny. If I pull up the long position here, right, running long number 2, this is literally the same line. It's not even redrawn or anything, right? So like literally we draw the line here and say, hey, guys, if we come down here, we're looking for the long with X confirmations. That's where I'm looking for my next long position to ride it back to the upside. And obviously it did take a little bit longer, but we did see that play out. So this is what I do in the Discord, guys. It's not a signals group. I'm not going to tell you every single time I enter. Sometimes if I'm there and it's convenient, I'll be like, hey, I just took a long. But for the most part, I spoon feed you the trade setups and let you know what confirmations I'll be looking for. It's an if this, then that statement. If we come down here and we see X, it's different for every trade, then we can look to potentially take a long position up to X target, right, for these reasons. And I actually teach you how to do the TA, how to find the setups yourself. We go live twice a week. It's basically like a mentorship, those live streams, because they're very tight-knit. You could like almost get direct access to me, ask your whatever question you have, and I answer it in detail. So definitely, it's almost like a live course, right? Like a live trading course kind of thing. So yeah, check it out. Not a signals group. If you're looking for someone to tell you when to buy, when to sell, you're chasing something that doesn't exist. But, you know, my group will not be the Discord for that. But as you can see, it does work out pretty well. We don't win every single trade, but very many of them play out like this. So there you go. Check it out if you want. But if you're not ready to spend money, guys, just understand I have so much free content on this channel. If you have not run through all the tutorials, skip the Discord for now. Run through all the tutorials, get your bearings, and then when you're ready to level up, you could join the Discord. I'm never just going to try to get as many people in there and say you're going to get rich overnight, right? I want to actually turn you into a profitable trader, and that takes time and a lot of hard work, right? And perseverance, right? It's a very difficult thing. So there you go. All right, let's see. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Eugene Sky said, if y'all take any profits before 125K, you don't deserve 126K. Shout out to Eugene. Let's see. Drop those likes, boys. Let's go. 2 more likes. Come on, baby. Trading for dummies, kind of. Shout out to Crypto Chica. Yeah, not too far off of it. Volume profiles every day. Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Cal. Said, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man how to fish, and he will eat for a lifetime. Shout out to Cal, 100%. That is and I show you what hole in the ice to go to find the fish, and then I give you the best bait and the best tackle and the best fishing rod, and I just go over there, look for this, drop that lure in, and when you feel the bite, reel it up, right? That way, if I'm not there, you can go ahead and fish yourself, right? Maybe you want to trade an altcoin or something. It's all TAs transferable to any asset, right? All the TA that we teach you can use on any asset. And I never really bring this up. I don't bring this up that often. If you want like a free trial to the Discord, it's like kind of like a free trial. You can check out the dining room. This is like a freemium section of the Discord. I'm not going to open it because I don't know if there's any fresh setups in there. But we share, if you join here, come to the free Discord, go to the dining room, unlock access. All you have to do is sign up with one of our affiliate links, read through these instructions. If you're already using one of our exchanges on our links, click in here. You choose, I don't know if you guys can see these buttons or if I'm covering them, FEMEX, Blowfin, or MEXC. You could select one of these. You put your user ID in, and then give the mod some time to get you in there, and you will get 1 premium post per week. And most of the time they are setups, but we do that every day in the Discord, and you don't get the live streams or anything like that. But if you want 1 post a week to get a taste of what we do in the Discord, this is totally free. So there you go. That's probably the best way to test it out. All right, let's see. Let's continue on. As Bitcoin kind of wiggles around up here, let's go ahead and jump on into some of the other altcoins. Let's check out H-bar real quick. Do I have H-bar saved here? Guys, the pump has got me asthmatic right now. Should be hitting the inhaler. All right, so, excuse me. Let's pull up the H-bar chart. Where's our H? Guys, we're on the beach. Look at that. What the heck? All right, that was weird. Now I got to open everything back up. Good Lord. All right, we're back. I don't even know what I hit to do that. That was wild. I wish I knew how I did that. But anyway, let me find the actual H-bar chart. Where the heck are we? Mexi? There it is. All right, so let's take a look here. H-bar kind of popping up here a little bit. And, yo, shout out to Tony D. Oh, my God, the chat is going wild. Shout out to Tony D. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Gifting those 20 Frankie Candles memberships. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. And we also got 20 memberships from our boy Frankie Candles. Who is that guy? Tony, ban that guy. I don't know who that guy thinks he is gifting memberships. What a weirdo. Anyway, shout out to Tony D. Let's go. I appreciate you so much. And Pennywise with the 5 Frankie Candles memberships. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, no. Guys. And Erica with 5 memberships. Let's go. Yo, Bitcoin pumps. Bitcoin pumps and the Mafia gives back. I absolutely love that. You guys are spamming inhalers. Fine. There we go. No longer asthmatic. All right, let's see. Shout out to Servando Estrada said, I'm a weirdo. Welcome to the club, Servando. Welcome to the club, bro. You're in the right place. Weirdos unite. But, hey, we are we're weirdos that make money clicking buttons on our computer, so that's kind of fire. But let's take a look here. So we did hold that golden pocket, which is nice, right? We have from the impulse to the high. Test of that golden pocket. That's an area where you could put in the high or low. Now, we did front run the anchored VWAP, which would be nice if we do have to come back down. If we can get that anchored VWAP confluent with the value area low, it would add to the level of support. Here we have the value area low. As of right now, I will just say, I mean, if you're inside the volume profile, stay above the value area low. Doorway to the POC is open. Same thing here. Resistance until proven otherwise. Get back in. POC is likely. Came back down, tested the golden pocket. As long as we stay above that value area low, we could look for that push into the POC. Next target to the upside, for the most part, will be that point of control sitting at 30 cents. If you can flip that 30-cent POC, we can look for the value area high. And again, I have to be very clear, especially because I would assume it's probably some new people in here right now. Does not mean it's going to happen in that exact fashion, right? This would be crazy. Even though, even when our lines do hit, right, a lot of times it's not just that clean straight line. You go, oh, my God, we're going back down. Oh, my God, wait, back down, right? But eventually, the overall plan is to see that continuation to that target, right? And in this case, the POC would be target number 1 at 30 cents, value area high, major target number 2 at 36 cents, and that value area high is confluent with your macro golden pocket, which leads you all the way up to about 38, almost 39 cents. Now, if you have to get a bigger pullback, let's say you can't hold your value area low, I would not necessarily anticipate that golden pocket to hold you up again unless you have the anchored VWAP pushing up there, which could be the case. But if you do have to pull back again, I would say, this level has really already been tested. Golden pockets are not something that I really look for 2 taps on. If you're looking for your low, your higher low, and your higher high, typically the higher low will come in on the first tap on that golden pocket. The nice thing here is if you don't hold that golden pocket, let's say you come back down, right? I would not anticipate that to be huge support on the way down. You have your 786 just underneath you anyway, right? So anchored VWAP 786 currently sits between 22 and 21 cents. And then once you lose that 786, you're going to be looking down here towards the value area high and your full golden pocket pulled all the way from the low. But it would be very nice to kind of hold above this anchored VWAP. I can't tell you exactly where this will be until price moves, but if we push down, this will likely push up. All right, so hopefully that could become confluent, but those are the biggest levels. Value area low, 24 cents, and then the 786 anchored VWAP, 22 to 21 cents. Lose that 786, you're looking down towards the golden pocket value area high at 20 to 18 cents. So there you go. That's what I would look at. I'll come back to the super chats in a second. Yo, I think it's Spiritual Tradie Podcast. You and Karisha Milla, I don't even know how to say that name, are wild with these super chats or just general chats as well. But I will come back to those in a minute. Shout out to Nirvana, said my portfolio's tripping. Go home. You're drunk. I am caffeinated. Your portfolio is drunk, and your boy Frankie Candles is caffeinated, which I don't think is ever. Spiritual Trading Podcast said I spent at least $3 a day sending. I can't, bro. He said spend $3 a day sending super chats, and imagine if he put it into a stable coin. And hey, I'm pretty sure, guys, USDC and USDT are ready for their bull market, guys. Anyway, let's continue on here. Shout out to Sam said, thanks, Frankie. No problemo, Sam. I got you, brother. Hey, shout out to Kalia. And this is why, guys, I do not ram my Discord down people's throats because, listen, if I don't like to sell my Discord as a get-rich-quick scheme, right? Because trading is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You can get rich trading. You can make money trading. And hopefully I show you this, guys, like every day as we come up here. I teach this stuff for free. But, I could have a bazillion people in my Discord if I promoted it as a get-rich-quick scheme. But it's not, right? But you can actually make money. And this is why I don't promote it, right? Because I just figure the best way to promote our Discord is to have it come out of the actual CandleMafia's mouth. Shout out to Kalia. This happens every time. I'm still 10 minutes behind on 2x, but the premium live streams helped me from a losing trader go from a losing trader to managed losses. I can't say I'm profitable yet, but I see the light. Just being honest. # worth it. Shout out to Kalia. That is the most transparent journey of a trader. If there was a Discord, guys, trust me, I've tried everything. When I first started trading, if you're new here, I had gone through the worst trading journey ever. It took me probably closer to the better end of like 2 years to actually start seeing some kind of success. And if there was a Discord that I could just join and have someone tell me when to buy and sell, I would have never learned TA. I would have never been doing any of this, right? And I would have never actually been a profitable trader, right? I would have just found a Discord, set a bot to take those signals, and I would just go lay on a beach and just print bazillions of dollars. So yeah. Shout out to Kalia. Thank you for saying that. Wick's Y589 in the chat. What is going on, guys? Tia, yeah. Shout out to Crybaby. We will take a look at Tia. Shout out to Bobber Scout Crypto says, thanks to you and Tom Crown for the knowledge. Shout out to you, man, and shout out to Tom Crown, one of the best creators out there. If you guys don't follow Tom Crown, go check him out. Actually, I gotta go stop by his stream soon. We have I gotta start popping into other streams soon. Shout out to Tom. Also a good dude, by the way. Not just a great content creator, but like a good human being. We love Tom. Shout out to Baby Genius said, Frankie, you might be the best, bro. Your integrity is like none other. Now is a good time as any. I have no babies, nor am I a genius, and my name is Araya. Yo, shout out to Baby Genius coming out and letting us know the real name. Shout out to Baby Genius. We love you. Thank you for saying that. And thank you for being here, man. But let's continue on here. So H-bar, guys, those are the targets I'm looking at. Key levels of support. You do have your money flow here on the 16-hour coming out. You guys will know on Bitcoin, we have been looking at the 12-hour money flow, which was looking somewhat suspicious. And I'm not going to lie, from a binary perspective here, guys, it still looks suspicious, right? And this is why I have you guys prepared for, like, be aware of some effery going on here. I almost said it. I'm going to say it. I don't care that you broke your elbow. Hurt your elbow? I don't know. Shout out to anybody that knows that meme. I might be the only one. But, yeah, 12-hour money flow, like, still somewhat looking suspicious. It is coming down. So, again, having you guys ready for those pullbacks. But let me look at this on there we go. On H-bar, right? 16-hour money flow coming out. You know, you do have to be aware. But from a technical level perspective, like, as long as you're inside this range, guys, the doorway to the PLC remains open. If you break back down, we have those next key levels I just went over. So, yeah, other than that, like, high time frames, same stuff. 2-day money flow crossover, 3-day coming up. Still has not crossed over, but this is a pretty bullish sign, right? This is typically what we see before big moves up. So just be aware of that, right? Even the last 3-day money flow crossover here didn't give you like the big move. Granted, we were in a different situation up here than we are now, right? With the incoming rate cuts, all the other stuff, Ethereum breaking out, right? We're in a different situation right now, but even just to show this, right? Even when you don't get the expected, like, massive move up, well, what do you get, right? You still get the higher high, which still technically continues the uptrend. This is like a bad example of that, but again, we're in a different situation at this point, right? So even if we get the bigger pullbacks, right, like, I would still be anticipating higher lows and higher highs. And then maybe you could have some kind of like a wonky head and shoulders here. Pushing you up to 66 cents, but which is very close to that technical target. I'm not going to lie. That kind of lines up. So there you go. But that's what I'd be looking at on H-bar. H-bar is something, if you look at this, right, like when I was talking about how, like, you might not be able to see, like, when we see things like Polkadot or like some of the other Dino coins that like may not be able to put in an all-time high. Hopefully they do, right? But again, if the top looks like it's coming in and Polkadot's like up here, like I'm going to be selling something like Polkadot, obviously. But like, again, even if you get the golden pocket retracement, still like an 800% move to the upside. And when you look at something like H-bar, right, like H-bar's already gotten a big move up, and we're already like, you know, we're only 100% away from the all-time high, right? So it's like H-bar has a lot less work to do to put in an all-time high. But when you look at this, right, like people might say like, you know, like, well, I'm going to buy H-bar because if Polkadot's not going to put in an all-time high, like I'm going to buy something that will put in an all-time high. But you have to understand, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make more money buying H-bar here and riding it into a new all-time high. Let's just, for example, I'm not saying this has to be the case, but like, let's just say, for example, H-bar tops out at 91 cents, right? I mean, heck, maybe it rips up to $1.40, whatever it is. It's 436%. If Polkadot gets into its retracement levels, again, 800% move, right? So, you know, just because this won't go into all-time highs does not mean there's not massive gains to be had. It just has a lot more work to do, right? So take that for what it's worth. So there we go. We took a look at H-bar. Let's take a look at Proppy. I forgot who sent that super chat, but thank you so much. We'll take a look at this. Please don't super chat your altcoins, but we have time, so I'm going to take a look at this one. I do try to honor them as much as I can, but it's just impossible for me to look at everything, and I genuinely don't want people wasting money, right? Like, it's like, let's see. We probably don't have a Proppy chart, to be honest. So we'll just see. Take a look at the Coinbase chart. Is this it? Yeah. All right. So we'll take a look. Take a look at the Coinbase chart with all these weird old wicks. This is the this is like a real estate thing, right? I think it is. But let's take a look here. So I'll be honest, this chart is, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like it's difficult, right? Because like we don't have any clean ranges. We don't really have any clean structure. One, you know, is this a golden pocket 786 retracement? It's not. So dang. I mean, this would definitely be a big level to get above at about $1. Let me try to pull a volume profile here. Yeah, this is gonna be hard. It's like no real like clean range that I can pull here, at least on the 3-day. Could probably pull it like, ugh, man, that's a difficult range. Yeah, I mean, this is just weird to pull it this way. Yeah, I mean, you do have your POC, lose the POC down to the value area low, deviation, flip it to support, POC is next, get above the POC, front run the high. I'm not going to pull profiles on this, to be honest with you guys. Not that this won't hold up. Like, chances are this will probably get respected, but it's just not that clean. What I will do here is, yeah, I'm going to do this one really quickly. Yeah, you're not holding your 786. Yikes. We might have to come back to this one because it's going to take me a long time to find all these key levels just because this is like a random altcoin that we don't look at. Yeah, you could argue that you are at a key level of support, resistance, you break above. You could be flipping that to support. Yeah, we might have to come back to this. I forget who super chatted this, but yeah, you could mark off like these tapped weeklies that you have, right? This would be a pretty key level, right? You break above it. Try to flip it to support. This comes in at about 62 cents, almost 63 cents. It's going to be a pretty important level to stay above, in my opinion. I don't know what your visible range is going to look like on this. Let's see. The heck? Yeah. So, yeah, I would look to – hopefully you could hold 63 cents. If you could break above this high volume node at about $1.09, you might be able to get a continuation to the upside. But this is a bit hard to read if I'm being totally honest. It's yeah, this is difficult. I would have to mark out all the horizontal levels and like really take time with this chart to mark it out. I will try to do that maybe some point tonight, and we'll bring this back up tomorrow. But I would say right now, 63 cents, pretty key level of support. And then your biggest key level of resistance to get above would be the shelf of volume at about, call it $1.11, right? So I'll give you this. You have the high volume node right here. and you have another like kind of break into a much lower level or lower volume level. So I would say key levels right now to the downside, 63 cents, and then to the upside, watch $1.08 and then $1.66. Break above this high volume node, build up support. You could get a shot up here because, again, your volume falls off pretty aggressively, so there's not much holding you down. Quick moves down could be quick moves up. And then once you get above this level, right, you have a significant fall off in volume, and you might be able to see a quicker move to the upside. So that's what I would look at on Proppy, just like going bare bones here on the analysis. But I'll try to mark this up a little bit more, and we'll maybe recircle back to this in a later stream. All right, let's see. What time is it right now? Oh my God, guys, time flies when Bitcoin makes new all-time highs. It is what it is. Shout out to Lasers Go Pew Pew. What is going on? Welcome in, bro. Thank you for being here. Sui, yeah, we could take a look at Sui. I know Sui's a little bit of a crowd favorite. That is not our Sui chart. Where's our Sui chart? Is it Mexi? There it is. All right. So here we are on Sui. And again, this is similar situation to a lot of our things, holding not the full golden pocket retracement. So understand these levels are still here. Key support down below. If we're not able to break out of this profile, which hopefully we can just break this structure to the upside, similar to what we looked at on Cardano. But I would say yeah, so you got it from the impulse to the high. You held that golden pocket POC. Again, very similar to what we looked at before. Is this a place you could put in a higher low? Sure, right? You have your low, your higher low. Higher high could be expected. But if you do have to continue down, you do still have the 313 to 302 golden pocket. And then if you lose that, you have the value area low 786 sitting here between 276 and 264. So those would be the biggest levels to the downside. Also the POC sitting at 346. But I would say personally, with that golden pocket tap here, if you're going to put in that higher high, not possible to break structure to the upside here. We'll put it just like we did on Solana and Cardano. We'll put a will it break level. Will it moon? Come on. Come on. There we go. Will it break? We'll see. We'll see. I mean, that is a valid place to put in a higher low and a higher high to continue your trend to the upside. And your 2-day money flow looks like everything else, right? It would say, 2-day money flow coming up. When you have pullbacks, what are you going to look for? You push into the value area high with bearish divergences. Next likely place for price to go is the POC. Bounce off the POC. Continuation to the upside, right? So your overall trend does continue to the upside. Money flow would back that. The question is, was the tap of the local golden pocket PLC good enough, or are you going to have to go down for that full retracement for the bigger move? I would say right now you have an opportunity to push up. Just be careful. Key level of resistance, 438 at the value area high. And, Sui as well, right? One of those coins like this thing, obviously we get alt season. This thing is probably going to put an all-time high. We're only 45% away. All right, so there you go. Let's see. Did I miss Link? No, shout out to Cal. We can take a look at Link right now. Actually, I think I have Link over here somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? There we are. All right, so Chainlink pushing into our key level. We have a will it break level here because, as you know, when we look at this from a higher time frame perspective and we take a look at this golden pocket 786 from the low to the high, you have your low, your high, your higher low, which barely held on to your 786, but this is where you would look for the higher low. Now you could get back into your range. We have flipped the value area low to support, which is nice because once you hold that as support, the next place for price to go is very likely going to be the POC. So next target for sure is going to be 26.91 at that point of control, which is also confluent with your golden pocket 786. Now the question is, should we be looking for a lower high, right? Because when we pull this from the high to the low, you could be putting in a lower high for a lower low, but this would not be my base case, right? Because money flow is trending to the upside. 2-day money flow in the green, 3-day money flow crossing into the green as well. Pretty early crossover here on Chainlink as well, so just getting started potentially here. Doesn't mean you can't pull back, but overall, I would look for a move into that POC and eventually that value area high, and we'll see if that low, high, higher low, higher high situation can continue, which would be pushing you into that value area high, and potentially, if you get the breakout, could look for higher prices. Chainlink something else that's a bit closer to its all-time high. Right? Is that the 2021 high? Yeah. So sitting at about, call it 120% from the all-time high. Would not be surprised if Chainlink puts in an all-time high. Assuming we see alt season come in, which, as you guys know, if you watch any of this stream, you will know, in my opinion, is very likely to be at least somewhere near, creeping up. We're knocking on the door, guys. We're knocking on the door. So there you go. I mean, we're just pushing into the resistance that we looked at, I believe, yesterday or maybe the day before. Watch that POC, flip the POC, watch the value area high, and again, continuing that trend to the upside, you can look for the breakage structure of this high. Will it break? Well, I don't know. If it breaks, then we'll be here to say it. If it doesn't break, we'll be like, dang it, it didn't break, guys. All right, let's see. Let's continue on here. Let me check in on chat. BTC about to make a new all-time high. Let's go ahead and hop in here. 123.6. Well, we already did put in a new all-time high, obviously. Oh, no, he means like literally about to put in another one. Come on. Come on. Do it. Oh, man. Do it. Do it. Don't be scared, Bitcoin. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Give us the alert. Give us the alert. Come on. Come on. It's just like new all-time high. New all-time high. New all-time high. All right, let's continue on. Dogecoin. Yeah, shout out to Boss Man. We can take a look at Dogecoin. Shout out to Rana. We saw all your super chats, brother. Shout out to Rana, unless you sent a bunch more that we missed. But we did read your super chats. Yeah, we covered your super chats, brother. Let's see. All right, let's continue on here. What did we just say? Dogecoin. Let's take a look at Dogecoin. Well, hang on. Let's first just see if we can get the see if we can get that all-time high on the 1 second chart. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go. We're mooning, baby. Come on. This is the 1 second chart, guys. Be careful. And we're back down. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Oh, it's going to zero. It's going to zero, guys. Yeah, don't use the 1 second chart, guys. Don't use the 1 second chart. But there we go. He was right. Who said that? Who said that? Someone said all-time high incoming. They were right. Whoop, whoop. Shout out to Gen Z. Let's go. Moon, baby, moon. Shout out to Dave Digital. All right, let's continue on, guys. Dogecoin. Let's take a look at Dogecoin. Oh my God, all-time high, guys. All-time high. We should be getting should be triggering some of these alt season alerts as well soon. We even have a bear market warning. Yeah, we got some important alerts here that are going on, that are probably close to going off. At least alt season, not bear market just yet. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And we got the alert set on there, that Solana trend line. See if we can crack that structure to the upside. All right, so let's take a look at Dogecoin really quickly. All right, let's take a look. Let me just check the trades real quick. 2250, not too shabby. 3000, not too shabby. All right. Not too bad. I believe all my longs are up about a little over $10,000 over the past like 6 or 7 days. Not too bad. Wow, shout out to Jets. Says, thinking BTC going for a solo run again, back to 72% Bitcoin dominance before we see alt season. Wow, that would be crazy. I can't say it's impossible, but if Bitcoin dominance did go to 75%, that would be insane. This would be super bearish for altcoins. That would be, I can't say it's impossible. Shout out to Jets. It's an interesting take. I have not seen that yet. But I would probably say that is very low probability. But if that happens, one thing I can say for sure is your altcoins are going to suffer big time if that is the case. Shout out to Crybaby. Says, Tia. Yeah, we will take a look at Tia in a minute. Let's just jump into Dogecoin real quick. So Dogecoin, again, guys, like, this is why, like, I do like to cover a lot of these because we are a trading channel, right? So I like to get everybody these key levels in case you're looking for, like, intraday trades or something like that. But a lot of this stuff from, like, a higher time frame context is almost exactly the same, especially with the altcoins. You have your fib pull from the high to the low to the high. Low, high, potential higher low, able to come in here on that golden pocket. Next expectation could be the break of structure of the upside. And honestly, POC, yeah, well, we are actually already tapped this weekly MPOC, so I'm actually going to take that off. So your next target to the upside is definitely going to be the point of control sitting at 26 cents. And if you're going to follow along with this being the higher low for your low, high, higher low, higher high, you could look for the break of structure to the upside. And I will go ahead and put another will it break level on there. And we'll see. Come on. All right, because that would be the anticipated trend. Will it break? So there you go. Once you flip that POC, very high probability, in my opinion, to crack structure to the upside, pushing you into these next weekly MPOC and eventually the value area high sitting at 38 cents. First weekly MPOC sits at 32 cents, so just be aware of that. And then you have the bottom of the golden pocket at 34 cents. But eventually, guys, the overall continuation here is, again, get back into the range. POC is very likely. If you can't get out of the value area high, next likely place for price to go is the POC. Lose the POC, value area low is next, but you could see how you bounce around a little bit, right? So I wouldn't expect it to just be a straight line, but eventually, hopefully, we can get that crack and structure into the value area high. Excuse me. But all key levels above, POC, 26 cents, weekly MPOC at 32 cents, and then your golden pocket weekly MPOC at 35 cents, and then the value area high at 38 cents. And then your doorway into what I would consider new all-time highs for the most part. All right, it's not your macro fib. Let me just see how close that is if I pull our actual macro fib from the top of the bull market all the way to the bottom of the bear. 786. Yeah, doorway to higher price. Doorway to new all-time highs is sitting at 50, all the way up at 58 cents. And I'll be honest here. Like, could Dogecoin put in new all-time highs? I would probably say this has a bit of a better chance than something like Polkadot or like one of those older coins. And Dogecoin's not new either, but look how much further along it's come, right? Like, this has followed the market, all right? This has followed Bitcoin at least a lot better than something like Polkadot has, right? Polkadot is still sitting, like, below its 2022 lows and 2023 lows and 2024 lows, right? Oh, no, it's not sitting below the 2024 lows. It's pretty much in that same area, right? It's pretty much at the bottom of the 2022 bear market range. So you do still have a lot of work to do there. But for something like Dogecoin, right, you've kind of performed a little better, at least better than Polkadot, right? And you've held every higher low on a Fibonacci retracement from the low to the high. Higher low comes in on your 786. From the new low to the high. This low came right in on the 786, which could mean the higher time frame break of structure of this high could also be on the way. And money flow is pointing towards that being the case. Doesn't mean you can't pull back, but that would be the overall anticipation for me personally. All right, let's see here. Let's continue on. That was Dogecoin. We will take a look at TIA next. Let me load this up so I don't forget it. Oh, she's holding. She's holding. Shout out to Dave Digital, said, remember that those doors also get slammed in your face. Yes, absolutely. When you approach a doorway to higher prices, right, like anytime we look at a doorway to higher prices, it is always going to be resistance until proven otherwise. Same thing on, like even Ethereum. This is kind of a bad example because you ripped right through it. But if you come down to a low enough time frame, man, it's going to be... If you come on down to a low enough time frame, you do get resistance there. Or maybe I should just pull up Dogecoin, right? Because on our first approach of this value area low, right, this is a doorway to higher prices, but oftentimes you can get resistance first, and then sometimes you get a fake out in there. But again, different point in the market than we are at now. So just understand that, right? But like, most of these doorways to higher prices are usually resistance levels, but then once flipped to support becomes the doorway to higher prices, right? So you can knock on the door. You just got to hope that they answer it. Shout out to Dave Digital, 100%. Let's see. Only 180 likes left to 1,000, guys. Smash up that like button, baby. Smash that like button. Let's do it. If we get 1,000 likes, we're giving away $250 in Solana. Don't FOMO. Shout out to the king of Bitcoin. I agree. Please do not FOMO, guys. Like I said, we do still have some time for this stuff to develop, in my personal opinion, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like not an easy bet to make, but like a comfortable bet, right? Because it's like, I'm ready for the pullbacks. If this thing just wants to scream to the upside, obviously most of us are positioned. If you've been in the Mafia, you're positioned very well. That early breakout happens. More power to us, right? Because we're holding the long positions. I'm already positioned in my altcoins as well. So I don't have to. We don't really have to deal with the FOMO that much. But yeah, definitely don't FOMO. I do think we still potentially could have a lot of time. And if we don't have time, then hey, let's go. Let's send it now. I'd be more than happy to be wrong about that. So, Solana, baby, let's go. Oh, actually, our alert did not go off. Yeah, no, we're still cooking here. Come on, baby. Come on, Solana. Come on, give it to us. Give us that breakage structure. Come on, make our magical lines worth it. Make it worth it. Come on. All-time high or just SFP? Shout out to Dave Hagen. I love it. I love it, bro. I love it. As of right now, I mean, a little bit hard to say because, again, you know, like I said, you got to be careful with the SFPs of the all-time highs. This is something I look for all the time, right? Like SFP, the all-time high, send it back down potentially. But you do have to be careful, right? Like this is 100% an SFP of the all-time high confirmed. But what happens? You push right back through it. So not all SFPs are going to be created equal. As a matter of fact, I would say SFPs of all-time highs are one of the more dangerous kind of SFPs that you can look to take. Shout out to Dutchy says, buy standard in bathtub. Yeah, right. Careful with the soap, Dave. Shout out to Dutchy. I don't know what that is in reference to. Insane. Yo, shout out to Wick589. What is going on, bro? Thank you for being here. And thank you for the super chat. He said, so I took one of those website personality quiz things, and it said I'm perfectly compatible with Golden. How do I tell wifey? Shout out to Wick589. I think you just gotta say it out flat. You just be like, listen, babe, it's not me. It's the website. It's the test. It's like I didn't want that test to go that way, but it is what it is. If you pass the test, you pass the test. If you fail the test, you failed the test. Shout out to Wick. I would just say cold, hard, and blunt is probably the easiest way. Just rip that Band-Aid off and hit up Golden, man. Shout out to Wick589. Thank you for the super chat. OG of the Candle Mafia. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Mr. Ethereum himself. Says, I have a feeling Ethereum is going to rip tonight. I hope you're right, bro. I hope you're right. I've been holding my Ethereum for quite some time. Even through 113K. Even through that $1,300 pushback or pullback. You know, I could have been wrong here, guys. I do not roll the dice, right? Like, obviously, I was pretty confident in this, right? Like, the chances of ETH, I think I said I would shave my head, which I'm still not in the clear yet. Right, because we have technically not put in an all-time high, but I think I said down here I made some kind of crazy bet, or maybe it was like a big. I don't remember what it was. I think I said I would either shave my beard, which there's not really much to shave anyway, but or maybe my head if ETH doesn't make a new all-time high this cycle. But that's not really that crazy of a bet, right? Like this is the second largest crypto by market cap, right? Like with institutional interest, right? It's like ETFs, like all this stuff, right? Like the chances of Ethereum not making new all-time highs this cycle was and still is very unlikely in my opinion, right? And now you can see, now I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, well, we're definitely going to make a new all-time high, right? Well, it's easy to say now. But down here, making that call is a little bit of a pucker fest, but on something like Ethereum, it's a pretty safe call, right? It's not like we were looking at a meme coin or something like that. But yeah, hopefully I don't have to shave my head, guys. I have a weird shaped head. I would not be. I think people who are bald look cool bald. Like I think bald people look cool. Like a lot of people like self-conscious about being bald. Like nah, I know bald people that look weird with hair. Like stay bald, dude. You look cool. Me, not so much. My head is shaped like an alien. That's why I wear a hat all the time. The bet was give away a whole ETH. Shout out to Gen Z. I'll make that bet. Let's do it. Shout out to Gen Z. Thank you for giving us a new giveaway. Obviously, very low probability that this plays out, but I'll do that. If ETH does not make a new all-time high by the end of this cycle, I will give away an ETH to one lucky Candle Mafia member. Let's go. Maybe we'll, and yeah, we'll do something crazy for 100K subs. When we hit 100K subs, I'll do a big giveaway. We'll do something really cool. Maybe we'll do a meetup. That'd be dope. Shout out to Infinite Team T. Hey, thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, Liquidity also. Liquidity. Oh my, I don't know where the, I think I just said liquidity too many times, and I think maybe it was Mark Dutch or Dave Digital. I don't know who it was. They started the Diddy joke. But shout out to Infinite Team. Says, Liquidity. Also, I want a hat. Bing bong as well. Jesse, tell him not to shave his head. Shout out to Infinite Team. Yes, you guys don't want me to shave my head. You guys will unsub so fast, guys. I mean, look at this hair. Yo, this looks weird. I don't like that. I don't like that, guys. Yeah, luckily I do still have a good amount of my hair. 33. Doing okay. It's a little wispy up top, but it's all right. Let's continue on. I think my genes are not great for being bald. My grandfather was bald on my mom and my dad's side. But I'm holding up pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I might have dodged that. I don't know. I don't want to jump ahead of anything. But anyway, let's continue on here, guys. Let's take a look at Tia. I forgot who asked for Tia. He's probably like, this guy's going to forget Tia again. This guy's a maniac. But no, here we are, guys. We are holding the key level of support. Biggest level of support, guys. Like, I'll even drag this down to the daily MPOC. You don't want to lose $1.48, $1.47, $1.48. You don't want to lose this, guys. If you lose this, it's not looking good for Tia, in my opinion. Only levels I could look down below that are going to be the extension zones, $1.08, 90 cents, 71 cents. I'm not saying you have to go there. Ooh, I just smacked my wrist on the desk. But it's, you got the low, you got the high. You got the high or low. Where'd the high or low come in at? Right about your 786. We did front run it, but it, yeah, 786 is the key level, right? Because if you want your low, your high or low, and your high or high to break structure to the upside, you must hold above that 786. And right now, it's looking pretty decent. You could maybe scoot on out of here, but you are going to run directly into some resistance here, sitting between 261 and 296. And then you run right into your value area low. I mean, you still have a little bit of work to do here to see, like, significant signs of strength, in my opinion. I do hold Tia, right? So I'm along for this ride. If this thing does not want to rip, I mean, I'm going to feel that pain as well. But, level number one I would watch is, like, if this is going to be the high or low on that front run of that 786, there's your high that you want to run. Snap that at about 228, push into your 786 golden pocket, and then work your way into this range. I mean, you got a bit of work to do. Really, the big key level that I would like to flip is this POC. Key. All right, once you flip above that POC, you might be able to see that as a sign of strength. You start cracking above these weekly highs, and then you can start working your way into these bigger ranges. Cooked, man. This thing got cooked to the downside on the last drop. Whew! But there you go. Even at this point, right, like, if Tia is cooking in the bull market here, I mean, this might be one of those coins that could maybe make it up to the retracement level. Like, I don't know how likely it is for this thing to see an all-time high. Still 760% to the 786 golden pocket zone, but you got a lot of work to do here. This thing's got to start getting moving. But nice to see that you're holding. I mean, you are holding your big key level, so watch for the crack of structure, and then again, watch that golden pocket 786. And then that POC sitting at about 318. Once you flip that, hopefully we can start working our way up into those bigger zones. So there you go. And then money flow, is lagging, but, headed in the right direction, right? Like 3-day money flow cruising to the upside, right? The nice thing here is you could be early to that crossover into the green, right? If your other altcoins are pushing up, you got the crossovers into the green and they're already trending, right? Like, you might be a little earlier to this one. 4-day green dot confirmed, 5-day green dot printing, 6-day green dot printing, weekly green dot printing. And the weekly green dot printing with a 10-hour money flow crossover into the green is a good sign, right? This is a market cipher B116 strategy. And you can see you get that weekly green dot, you get the weekly green dot, 10-hour money flow crosses into the green. That 10-hour money flow crossover can indicate that continuation of the trend to the upside. So hopefully that is the case here, and you could keep cooking up here. So very nice. Watch that market cipher B116 strat, and then definitely don't want to lose $1.47. Shout out to Infinite. Says, I used to date a Tia. Run. Shout out to Infinite. Let's go. Tia, T-E-A-H. I've never seen a Tia like that. Shout out to Infinite. Hopefully she didn't leave you with too many scars or too much trauma. Shout out to Infinite. I've dated my fair share of crazy people in the past. Hopefully they're not watching. They're like, dang it, that Frankie Candles. But anyway, shout out to Daddy Coin. Said, hey, Frankie, thank you for improving my financial life greatly. Do you ever short all-time highs for content? It would be pretty cool. Shout out to Infinite. I have shorted all-time highs. Not really specifically for content, but I have shorted all-time highs. I actually shorted not this one, but I did short. I shorted this all-time high top, and then I also shorted this all-time high. So these are two that I did short, right? Because we did have reasons to take those shorts. I would say right now is probably the most dangerous short on an all-time high. And, yeah, I mean, yeah, I've never done it for content specifically, but I mean, you want to see me short all-time highs? I'll do it. You want me to do it? I'll do it. But yeah, no, I have in the past. It has actually played out very nicely. But you do have to be very careful, especially in this case. The idea would be sweep out the high, correction before the real move. Catch that move to the downside. But I never want to promote shorting all-time highs. Like when I short up here, there are very specific things that I'm looking at, right? And I'm not necessarily expecting it to be the high forever. Even here, very specific things we're looking at. Actually, in this case, I think I took a short on the SFP here. If I remember correctly, I took this SFP short, which was on a lower time frame, I believe. I'm not going to wind up showing the whole thing just to save time. But you get the sweep. I think I took a short up here, and then I think I got stopped out at break even maybe or something. And then I wound up retaking a short at about 102K, right? So I actually got a little bit of a worse entry, but obviously that did wind up, pretty much shorting almost at the top all the way to the down, all the way to the move down to $75,000. So I have done it before. I would just say, got to be careful. I would never promote that to be a very, very good thing to do every time. But there we go. Let's see. Litecoin, shout out to Underrated Tech. Let's take a look at it. LTC. I was trying to make a joke about Underrated Tech, but I just couldn't think. All right, let's take a look at LTC. Sorry, guys. Sometimes it takes me a minute to find these charts. Oh, I'm on the wrong template. That's why. I can almost guarantee you it's the Bybit chart. There it is. All right. So, a few different things we can look at here on a Litecoin. Here's your 2021 bull market range. Let's compare this. All right, I'm going to show you something on the live stream here, Mafia, that is going to be sorry about that, guys. Mouse hit the intro button. But if I take a look here, that's what happens when I try to reach too much on the computer. But let me just pull up Bitcoin here real quick, just to kind of show you the thought process here. Looking at Bitcoin, here's your bull market range. And I know a lot of you guys know about this, right? But if you're new here, just understand this. This is one of the... at this point, we've made a ton of other calls that have played out very nicely, but this is one of the very, very clear calls. We were very early on this, right? As we approached about $30,000 at the value area low, we know that's our doorway to higher prices. And once you come up to it, you could, just like Dave Digital said, they could slam the door in your face, but once you could crack it, flip it to support, the fill of that volume profile is extremely likely. When we look at Chainlink, this is very similar. Right? And when you look at this on Bitcoin, it's inside of this range, inside the volume profile is your fair value. Below is looked at as undervalued, right? This is where you look for the longs and to buy the dip, to ride it into the range and back up to the upper end of fair value. Are you seeing a similarity? Undervalued, fair value. Undervalued, fair value. Doorway to higher prices, doorway to higher prices. Shot to the moon or the value area high. Shot to the moon or value area high. I want to get very serious, guys. This is the exact same situation. Somebody screenshot that. Will this play out? I can't guarantee it. But what I can say is that obviously you can get slap down. But we got slap down. We're now on our third approach here. So I would argue, if you're going to look at this, and again, it doesn't mean just because this happened like this on Bitcoin, it was approach, breakthrough, approach, breakthrough. I would say we are potentially on that approach right here before we broke through. What is another sign that we had here? A weekly money flow crossover into the green. Let me get the brushes off the chart. Right? We also had the weekly money flow crossover into the green. Little early signal back here, but the big crossover happened right here. What's happening over here on Chainlink? Weekly money flow crossover. Whoops. Weekly money flow crossover. I mean, it's very, very similar. It's very, very similar. It's not just that it looks the same, right? It's structurally, this is the same range. And now we have a chart, money flow, and a potential macroeconomic environment that could support this fulfill the range, right? So long term, that's what I would look at on Chainlink. Pull back the... that's what I would look at. Value area low sitting at 137.07. Flip that to support. go ahead and send it into the POC, flip the POC, push it into the value area high. And again, it could be a messy journey, but that would be the overall expectation. Once you can crack out of that value area, that's where you can look to push up towards the highs. Doorway to new all-time highs for something like Litecoin. Did I say Chainlink? Sorry, guys. LTC and Link just sometimes chop me up if I said that. I apologize. But obviously, we are looking at LTC here. But if you can get up there, I would say the line in the sand to new all-time highs is sitting all the way up there at 334.43. And then local levels, right? So that's just like the simple standpoint. Once you get in here, guys, it's a high probability of that fill. Doorway to higher prices for a reason. Now, we could pull up the local levels as well. So I'll go ahead and hide this one, and we'll pull up the local range, which just sits down here. You have your bear market range, right? And then we have a local profile up here. So like hyper locally, I would say flip that value area low, which we did, push into the POC, which we did, reject off the POC. Cool, check that off. Now we're back above the POC. Next target to the upside locally, 136.70, right there, which is literally the door but at higher prices. So look for something like this. If you lose the POC, looking back down to the value area low. That's what I'm looking at on Litecoin. All right, let's see. Alts are ready to play. All you have to do is buy a handful and go fishing for 2 months. Shout out to Infinite Team. Let's go. Wig5, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Wig589, thank you for the super chat. He says, do tokens with hardcore holders like Litecoin, XRP, and Link just act different? I wouldn't really put it on the holders. But they do, right? Like, I mean, these obviously have performed a lot better. Shout out to Wig589. XRP, obviously, like I said, like coins that are likely to go into new all-time highs, something like XRP would be that, right? Because, I mean, at this point, we're right on the all-time high. Things like Chainlink, right? Not that far from the all-time high, right? But then you look at things like Polkadot and everything. Like, this has so much work to do to get to the all-time high, right? So I don't know. I wouldn't put it on the holders, but you do have the kind of like the higher market cap big boys that kind of just hold up better. XRP, Chainlink, even Litecoin. Actually, I mean, Litecoin's still in its bear market range, but it's still not sitting like Litecoin is like more up here, right? Like at the top of its bear market range, right? Not still sitting at the bear market lows. So, yeah, I don't want to put it on the holders. But, yeah, I would say maybe the fact that they're higher market cap or, yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, to be honest. But I wouldn't say just because, like, people hold with diamond hands. Maybe they do. Maybe that could be. I'm not sure. But shout out to Wig589. I wish I could give you a better answer, bro. But let's see. Johnny500, thank you for the super chat, said, Frankie, help with B3 on base. What's the money flow looking to do? Shout out to Johnny. Let's take a look here. I'm not going to take a long look at B3 just because I don't know how many other people are really going to want to see this, so I don't want to spend too much time. But I will just give you a little breakdown on money flow here, Johnny. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. But, yeah, let's see. 2-day money flow. I mean, hey, you got your green dot looking to print. Your 3-day money flows in the green. Or 2-day money flows, excuse me. 2-day money flow in the green. Looking like you could potentially print a green dot here. 3-day. Looking for a red dot, and I have no money flow on this, right? So, like, there's not enough information on something like this. 4-day, no information. I mean, you have the VWAPs, but, like, you basically have no information on this as far as high time frame money flow. But what I will say is the 2-day money flow, at least, does look to be the same as a lot of all the other altcoins. And this is going to be the case with, like, almost every altcoin other than, like, what is it? Is it TARS? That looks like kind of, like, totally different, right? If we take a look at TARS, I mean, not even really 2-day money flow looking across up. For the most part, like, the money flow is going to be the same thing because, like, all the altcoins pretty much move together, right? You'll have the outliers. You'll have the ones that get the moonshots. You'll have, like, if they catch news or whatever it is. But for the most part, it's like, it's all the same thing, right? It's like, if we see alt season, like, all this stuff is already all pointing in the right direction on whatever altcoin you're looking at, unless you're looking at, like, some kind of crazy outlier. Some of the meme coins, like, I think Fartcoin was something we looked at recently that looked totally different. Yeah, your 2-day money flow is actually coming out instead of having a fresh crossover into the green. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to move with the rest of the alts. It just looks different. But, you know, majority of the altcoins that you look at are going to have the same thing happening. 2, 3, 4-day money flow, or 2 and 3-day money flow crossovers into the green. 4 days just acting totally different for some reason. And then the 5, 6, and 5-day, 6-day, and weekly are also having money flow cross into the green on a lot of this stuff. And it's all going to look the same. All this stuff kind of just moves together. So, you know, if you see others or total 3, you know, continuing up, 3-day money flow crossover into the green. A lot of the altcoins are just going to follow suit on that, right? So if you're just looking for like something like a master kind of like chart that you can look at to just identify what's going to happen with the altcoins, take a look at others, take a look at Total 3, stuff like that. And this all looks good in my opinion, right? Huge money flow wave in the red, just crossing over into the green. Filled the profile perfectly. Breakout here. We'll see what happens. Still got some work here to put tops in on others. But, again, Total 3 getting very close. Very close. So, yeah, everything is lining up, guys. Bitcoin hitting that target that we looked at and beyond into new all-time highs. I mean, things are just right on time here with what we've been looking for. And I will keep you guys updated as the new price action develops. Just be careful. If we get pullbacks, you guys have now all the key levels of support, not only on Bitcoin, not only on Ethereum, but all the other altcoins as well. But my overall sentiment remains the same. It does look like all these things are coming together at the perfect point to finish up this bull market. And I know, finish up, Frankie, what are you talking about? We're just getting started. Alt season does happen at the end of the bull run. You know, usually we'll see everything top out with Bitcoin. So it's the most exciting part of the bull market. We still have some time. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated here. And hopefully, we are correct about being right around the corner to alt season. But don't let those little corrections or little mini dumps scare you out of the market. If there's a reason to be scared, guys, we will pop up an emergency live stream. And I'll tell you guys, this changes everything is probably what the thumbnail will say. Except I'll actually have something to talk about that changes everything. So with all that being said, guys, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys. It's already 8 o'clock. We ran for so long. Tonight. We already, I mean, what are we live for? 2.5 hours. Not too bad. Short stream, Frankie. Shout out to Dutchy. Yeah, shout out to Wick589 said, insiders know we're getting rate cuts next FOMC. Y'all don't neglect the sell the news. Shout out to Wick589. Definitely be aware of that. And shout out to Dave Digital says, happy new all-time high. Super excited to see this, guys. And we'll keep you updated here with the market updates and the live streams here every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or earlier in the day for the market updates. Thank you for being here. Smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss if we have to put on the This Changes Everything emergency live stream. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Shout out to Vegas Claw, bro. Vegas Claw said, Frankie the type of guy who buys water at the store and sets it free in the ocean. Stop stalking me, Vegas Claw. Let me free the water in the bottles, man. Come on. The poor water is all stuck in there. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Vegas Claw. Thank you guys for being here. Happy all-time high. And I guess we answered the question, Bitcoin or ETH all-time high first. I guess it was Bitcoin. So let's go. We're going to keep those longs rolling, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. You know the rest. Last goat standing. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on the roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on the road. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on the road. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on the road. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
Sorry, guys, I'm headed to the beach. Bing bong!